You're about to listen to TADPOG. Tyler and Dave play old games. It's a comedy video game podcast. We would like to stress that the hosts are not experts and are really just very crass commentators. Seriously, this is an explicit podcast that happens to talk about video games sometimes. So please enjoy this pretty okay podcast with Tyler and Dave.
Hello, Internet.
Hello!
And welcome to another TADPOG podcast. A podcast where three old guys play old games. This week we're playing the oldest game.
Deception!
Prostitution.
Judge Dredd.
The shame of a single hand.
So I did listen. I watched this movie last night. So
Good.
yeah,
I watched it too. Not last night, but the night before last night.
yeah. But before we get to all the sweet Judge Dredd content, what you guys been up to?
Surprisingly little.
Really? That is surprising.
Yeah, well, I don't get out much, so.
It's been like 2 weeks since I've seen you guys, right? Something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, give or take. I can talk about stuff I've been watching as usual.
What you been watching, bro?
There's a lot of it that fell by the wayside as far as it has been a while, so I forgot to write down pretty much anything for tonight's episode.
Girl, same.
So I don't have anything really to offer other than the horror hole this week. I did finally get around to watching Five Nights at Freddy's, which I found to be entertaining. It wasn't scary at all. I was kind of hoping it would be a little scarier, but then I remembered who the audience it was directed at, like namely like my 6-year-old grandson.
That's what I was thinking. Like, do I want to take Kendra to this or not?
It's not that bad. It's got some jump scare moments in it, but it's
jump
not that
scares
bad.
are fine.
And it's got, I like the little story that they crafted for it, to make it kind of make sense as a movie. The guy that made the game wrote the screenplay for the movie, so I consider that to be a legitimate thing.
Well, that FNAF lore goes fucking deep, man. That is a Alice in Wonderland rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Well, and there's a lot of fan service in there that I didn't get because I never played the game. But Cohen was
Matt
all
Pat's
over
in it. So.
Yeah,
That doesn't surprise me.
I heard. I didn't know he was in it until some 23-year-old woman that I work with told me that. Did you see Matt Pat? I'm like, I don't know what the fuck that is.
No. What is a Matt Pat?
What is this Matt Pat you speak of?
The Rat
and why
Pack?
is that name so irritating?
They're all dead. They can't be in it.
So
I mean, he was one of the first YouTubers I really liked because I loved game theory early on. Whenever I was like, I'm going to get into YouTube. I want to know what are the kids are talking about.
What is this YouTube thing all the kids are into? So there was a lot of stuff in there that was lost on me, but Cohen picked up on all of it, so he loved it. And
Cool.
I had a good time with that one. And I liked the little story they told. The story they built around the game to make it work as a movie was kind of a good little story. And so I'm going to give that one 3 stars. Vision Sage says check it out.
You're not the only person I've heard say that it wasn't that scary, which surprises me because I haven't played all the games, but I played the first one. And I thought it was pretty scary.
There's something to be said for playing the game and being in it and being immersed in it as opposed to watching a movie, especially when you already know kind of the gist of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if I hadn't already known anything about Five Nights at Freddy's, which is impossible in my house, then it probably would have been a little bit more freaky for me. But I just was I went in kind of knowing what to expect. So.
And I think you're right. I mean, as far as like, I get more scared playing a game than I have watching a movie like for a very long time. I mean,
well, then I think that has to do with just being in it. You're there. It's affecting you directly, and your actions affect what's going on.
Yeah.
So that tracks. But yeah, pretty decent little movie. I dig it. It's on streaming for free on Peacock if you have Peacock. And they only make you sit through like 2.5 minutes worth of commercials right at the very beginning, and then they show it ad free. So if I think it's a premium thing, maybe, I don't know, but still, especially being a free watch on Peacock, I recommend it. Give it a shot. A couple of new anime for me. I have been going back through Zom 100 because I just really liked it and started watching it again because it's on Netflix now and it's dubbed. And I watched the sub version on Crunchyroll, and I wanted to watch it again, this time dubbed, and it's still just as good. The second time through, I'm just kind of watching it in the background, but I watched a series on Netflix called Pluto.
Mm-hmm. You were telling me about this.
This is a story about, it takes place in the future, and there are these like robots that they're like androids. And in this version of the world, there was this giant war, and these robots were used for, as weapons of mass destruction. When the war ended, they were sort of they became self-conscious, and their AI made them choose their own sort of path. And one of them becomes almost like a protector of a forest, a big forest, and a firefighter. And then he ends up getting murdered.
Montserrat.
And Mont Blanc is his name. And he gets murdered, and they start to investigate the murder, and all of these really prominent, like super high tech, one of a kind robots start turning up dead. And so they're trying to figure out what's going on there. And it was a surprisingly good show. It was really emotional. So far, I think it's just going to be the one season, unless I don't know what they would do with. It wraps things up with a pretty nice little bow at the end, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know if they'll put out a second season, but I do recommend it. The main character's name is Gesicht, and his name means face in German.
Okay.
It takes place in Germany. For the most part, it takes place in Germany. So anyway, yeah, Pluto on Netflix right now, pretty good watch. I think it was just recently added. 4 stars. When Sage says check it out, and yes, I said was in Sage. It's fine. I'm giving up trying to fight it.
No more Poochie?
I'll always be Poochie at heart. We know
we know
who the Poochie is to this trio. The next thing I'm watching is, I just started this one called Backstreet Girls, Goku Dolls.
I haven't seen it, but I've heard of it.
So the Backstreet Girls
/ or dash or hyphen, if you will, Goku Dolls.
Goku Dolls.
So I've only gotten like through one episode of this show, but it has had me laughing. It's also on Netflix. I don't know if it's on anything else. I'm sure it is, but the premise of this show is that there's these 3 Yakuza who have seriously fucked up. They've made a big, huge mistake. And the show basically opens with them on their knees in front of their boss begging for, please don't kill us. We'll do anything. You can cut off all of our fingers. I'll cut off all 10 of my fingers. Just let us live. Shit. They're begging for their life because they've seriously fucked up. I don't quite know yet what it is that they fucked up. I'm not even through the first episode, but they're hinting towards what they did. And he says, their boss says, okay, I've been talking to this producer friend of mine, and apparently there's real money to be made from idols, from Japanese idol girls. And they're like, what the fuck? What are you talking about? He's like, you're Your punishment is either I'm going to cut off your legs and leave you to bleed to death, or I'm going to send the three of you to Thailand. You're going to receive gender reassignment surgery and become Japanese teen idols. And so that's what they do. And so it shows them flash forward a year, and these three like little, teenage girl looking are they do they're performing, and they're full on women now. I mean, they have been fully transformed into women. And then it cuts to like after the show backstage, and they're just sitting all spread eagle on their chairs, drinking booze and smoking cigarettes. Like, what the fuck have we done? And like when they talk to one another, of course they sound like women, and they're using like thuggish gangster language and all this stuff. And in their internal monologue is their male voices. I was choking. I was laughing so hard at this thing because it's just, I don't even know. It was the weirdest thing in the world. I never even thought. There's a lot of things about anime that surprises me, even to this day, having consumed as much of it as I have. This one got me. I found myself just at the language that they're using. It's vulgar. I mean, it's just, but it's fucking hilarious. I'm not going to give it a star rating yet because, like I said, I've just started it, but I think it's going to be a high mark for me.
Cool.
And that is, I think, I'm sure something will come to me because there has been some time that's passed since I was here with you, but I can't think of anything else that's happened. So that is what I have for now. How about you, Dave?
Halloween has come and gone since we last recorded, which feels weird because it is straight up deep in November, I'd say, at this point. Deep.
We're just the tip of November. We've only got the tip in, but
it's deep for me.
As of this airing,
depends on how long you like your November.
Henry was a World War II pilot for Halloween. We took him trick or treating.
Cool.
Brought Clementine with us, which could have been a mistake.
American, German, or Japanese?
American. Yeah. Yeah, he plays a lot of War Thunder. Can't remember if I mentioned this on the show or not, but it's a free-to-play war game where you can fly planes and drive tanks, and there are naval battles and stuff like that. He's been really into it recently. It's like taken over. It's taken the Minecraft and Fortnite slots.
Damn.
Yeah. So he's constantly asking if he can buy War Eagles, and I'm constantly asking if you have cash. Do you have cash that you can pay for the War Eagles?
This is the in-game currency.
It is the in-game currency, yeah. So I feel like I'm constantly taking money from my child and then in turn putting money from my bank account into the Microsoft, exchanging them into MS dollars, moon bucks, for him to buy War Eagles. So,
Dak, about the Time Magazine World War II DVD disc collection. Do you have cash in, right?
I mean, so
this could go the rest of his life.
Man, we
Dad, I really want a Civil War chess set from the Franklin Mint. Do you have any cash?
How much would that go for, son? I have $10 for the War Eagles. But yeah, he's like you were talking about like the Time Life stuff, but like he's gotten so into it that like, I mean, we've bought him because like he's really into the planes. The planes is like
planes are the shit.
That's the big thing.
World War II planes were fucking awesome,
and they've got like modern day plane. He's getting into it. Like planes are to him as like dinosaurs were to me.
Yeah,
so like,
okay.
He likes to watch videos on YouTube that are like, these are all the planes.
Yeah.
That's good bonding with Grandpa, right? Because
yeah, I mean, it is because yeah, his pop got his pilot's license. So like, yeah, they bond over that for sure. I always like to mention, your Pop, he's got his pilot's license. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
That's cool. Can I get some of them War Eagles?
Right, I need War Eagles. So
you're telling me he has War Eagles?
What's in it for me?
But we've been getting them these books because I wanted to get them books on planes. And I was reminded of
You should just do books on tape or something instead. It'd be cheaper.
he likes to draw planes, or I could just like read off of Wikipedia too. I could record that, record an MP3 of me reading off of Wikipedia, convince him that I was
bring
hired.
back Dave reads some Wikipedia, and it's
It's just a plane every episode. We got the 8-year-olds on lock.
you guys want to help kickstart our real life CD series, Dave reads Wikipedia, all about planes?
Guys, we need more War Eagles, so we're doing a Dave reads from Wikipedia on planes.
It's the fucking War Eagles mine. Going back to it. I need it. I need that money for War Eagles. I thought of those. We want to get them some books. And I was like, man, they've got those great books I remember from when I was a kid where they're like these expanded explosive diagrams of like bisected planes and stuff, and they got like the schematics. I was like, he would love that. And like a lot of them, it turned out of print.
Yeah.
So we've been buying them. We bought like 3 of them for them. They're out of print, but they're not like crazy expensive. It's just they're used. You know what I mean? So he's been liking those.
I remember watching TV as a kid, and every other commercial was for some Time Life book series, and there was a whole the one about World War II.
Yeah.
There was a whole bunch of those books.
Shake saved up and bought those in high school because, man, that was his thing in high school. Was
World War II.
Yeah.
It's a respectable uncle or grandfather.
It's a good old man hobby.
Yeah, it is. I remember I had the Time Life series. I think it was a Time Life series. It was a box set. It was a black box, and it was all like occult stuff. It was there's one on UFOs. There's another one on cryptids, and then another one on I can't remember. But the UFOs one, that was my fucking jam there for like a summer. Was like go to the library, get all the books on UFOs. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And now I don't give a shit about it at all.
Well, the government made it not cool.
I know, they really
It was
did.
real. It's
I
like,
couldn't
oh.
believe when they announced all this stuff, and it's like, I was so into this shit when I was a kid. It's like, as an adult, it's like, I don't fucking care. I don't care.
I have to pay my mortgage.
Right, yeah. I gotta make war bucks, man. I got fucking War Eagles
War
I gotta
Eagles to buy. Goddamn.
get. No shit.
All this UFO talking, getting the War Eagles.
Number
in
one
my
at McDonald's
account.
is $13. I don't care. UFOs are real.
Can we put the aliens in the burgers? Make the price come down?
Do the aliens?
That's it, I care.
Do the aliens have War Eagles?
What's the exchange rate on an extraterrestrial War Eagle to a U.S. War Eagle?
Not that good.
Yeah, it's probably horrible, right? So we did the trick or treat thing, and then we came home, and then we did a Treehouse of Horror marathon.
Nice.
We watched 12 Treehouse of Horrors.
Oh, shit.
You know that's a 6-hour run right there almost.
Give or take, yeah.
No, that's
And
good.
he just wanted to keep watching them, and I'm thinking,
Fuck
you
it.
just don't want to go to bed. And I'm like, I also don't want to go to bed. This works out for everybody.
Time to play bed chicken.
Yeah. Nikki tapped out. She lost. And then eventually, like, Henry was falling asleep, and I was like, this is the last one.
I win again.
They get worse from here on out, so this is a good time to stop.
Did you watch the Death Note one?
I haven't watched
I
that one
haven't
yet.
either. I kind of want to watch that.
I want to watch that one too, yeah. I thought about skipping ahead to it, but
It's funny because they all look like the anime renditions of themselves
It looks
from
cool.
like DeviantArt. You know, everything that's ever been done on DeviantArt has portrayed them to look like this. So yeah, it looks really neat.
yeah, I'm glad they're doing stuff like that. It's kind of
Yeah. They
surprising that
need
they're
to
doing
do
yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah. It's
Millennials
creative.
getting creative control.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Other than that, I was on recently Put that in quotes. I meant to mention this like 2 weeks ago, but we didn't do intros. And then I was on the Steam Machine podcast a few weeks back talking about Phasmophobia. That was a lot of fun. That's a game that I love. I put a lot of time in that game, and I wish that I had more time to put into it.
There's a link to that on the Discord right now in the announcement section or tastethepiss.com.
Taste the piss.
If you want to check that out, Dave linked it. I have not listened to it yet, but I plan to.
It was fun. I like those guys. They invited me on, and I know particularly Dalton. I mean, Dalton is a host there, and he's done music for the show, for our show before, and
multiple times.
Gamebug Prime Nate, he is essentially the reason that there's a Thursday night game on TADPOG Discord every week. So it's cool. I have been watching some anime. I've started watching a new anime that when it was marketed to me, I was like, that looks like garbage anime that I don't want to watch.
Can I guess?
You can guess.
Is it Captain Laserhawk?
It's not. I haven't heard of that.
Oh, okay, because it's on my list too.
Oh, fuck. Now it's on my list too. Captain Laserhawk? No, I hadn't heard about this one.
It's on Netflix. I found a bunch of good anime on Netflix. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong
I'll
with
let you
that.
know. I'll let you know how that one turns out.
Okay. I'll look forward to hearing
Anyway,
about it.
go ahead. Sorry.
This was Crunchyroll marketed this one heavily to me. It's Shangri-La Frontier.
Yes, I have seen these anime or advertisements for this anime.
I didn't like any.
I just think of where Niles lived when he first got divorced.
Yeah.
The Shangri-La.
Bachelor apartments.
I didn't like any of the marketing.
Millhouse's dad probably lives there too.
Do you sleep in a race car? But then I saw Gigic Garnt. He does a bunch of anime videos on YouTube, and I was watching his review of anime for this current season, and Shangri-La popped up. And when he was talking about it, I was like, oh, they should just take this segment as their commercial, because it's not like a wholesale like endorsement of it, but it was enough where it was like, oh, okay, this seems like I might actually enjoy it. It's like it's one of those anime where kind of like Sword Art Online, where it takes place in like a VR game.
Oh yeah,
but there's none of
God, love Sword Art Online.
There's not the if you die in game, you die in real life thing. It's really pretty lighthearted, and it's like surprisingly so. It's about a guy who's really good at trash games. Like, that's the thing that he likes to play, is horribly broken, poorly designed video games.
You're a video game nerd.
we should do that. That's a great idea for a podcast.
It's an idea for a podcast. We'll let the listener
That's an
decide.
idea for a podcast.
We'll let the listener decide by how much they donate on Patreon, whether or not it's a great idea or not.
It's what we already do.
What should
That
we
was
do?
the joke.
We'll front load all the best games in the first 2 years of the show, and then we'll do 8 years of garbage.
and
No, well,
counting.
that's the way to do it.
and counting.
And counting.
We're still
And how?
we're still way off from being done with this group of games.
How are we feeling about that? Great.
I'm good.
Good. Good.
I'm good until I die in early death. I'm good. I'm good.
So, because he's so good at trash games, this new VR MMO game comes out that is God tier, and the place where he buys his games from, the owner recommends it to him, and he starts playing it. And because he's played so many trash games, he is like a god in this well-designed, well-crafted VR game. And then there is a girl he goes to school with who is trying to confess her love to him. She's having trouble doing that. So I know, right? Tropes aplenty.
Tropes are tropes for a reason.
Tropes aplenty. So she also plays this game because she knows that he will play it, and she has become addicted to it. And she is a super high level player. Everyone confuses her with a statue because of like the armor that she wears. She is a very defensive style player, and he is the complete opposite. He doesn't wear armor. The only reason he wore armor for a little bit was because people thought he was a pervert because he was naked in town with a bird mask on.
I mean, if you can do that, then you should do that. Just saying.
It's good. I like it a lot. Like, I mean, a lot. And I don't think it's a great anime, but I mean, it's one where it's like an episode will end and it's like, God damn it.
It'll leave you wanting a little more.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm in. I'll put it on the list.
I don't think it's for everybody, but it's not. But yeah, you might like it. It definitely. They do flashbacks. It's kind of cool because they'll introduce characters in the game. Shangri-La Frontier is the name of the game. They'll introduce a character and they'll be like, the main character knows this player from this trash game. And then they'll do a flashback. And there's one that like super reminded me of Ultima Online because it's like the story of it is the developers made this game with not a whole lot of rules in hopes that the players would band together and fight the monsters and right the wrongs in the world. But the drops weren't good, and it was way easier to kill other people and take their items. That like the world kind of like devolved into like chaos, and they do like a whole flashback on that where like he meets a player who he later meets in Shangri-La, who she's a PK now, and it's nice. They do a lot of cool stuff.
Is Shangri-La better, worse than, or the same as Bastard?
I think it's better than Bastard.
Good.
I think it's better than Bastard. Considerably better.
Good.
You do not care for Bastard?
Oh, were you waiting on me to elaborate? No, it's not that I don't care for it. It's just so dumb.
Oh yeah,
It's so dumb. I love it, but
it's super dumb.
It's really, really dumb.
Shangri-La makes me wish that it were a real video game.
Bastard is like purposely dumb. It's like it's not like any other anime. It's like a more vulgar version of like He-Man and the Masters of the Universe or something. Like it's like the cartoon. The dialogue and stuff is like the cartoons I watched when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Only with curse words and stuff.
It's from the 80s. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean, it's
on point. It's just dumb,
Yeah.
but it's purposely dumb, and it's hard to watch, but it's a lot of fun. So I was just curious where it ranked. This one sounds more like your Shangri-La. Sounds more like a traditional.
It is. Yeah, it feels like a modern anime.
Cool.
I mean, it follows a lot of the modern anime tropes. I like it. You might like it.
I probably will like it. You and I tend to fall in a lot of the same categories when it comes to anime. So
It makes me want to play an MMO real bad.
yeah,
But the problem is that like I don't know of an MMO like the one in the anime. So it's like, man, because they pick the best things from popular MMOs and kind of put them together.
should we make it?
I mean, if we could, that would be great.
Okay.
I think we could make a lot of money making the best MMO ever.
I think that would work.
Yeah.
It sounds like a good idea.
Let's do it.
Let's just do
Let's
it.
just do it.
I know nothing about programming,
Me neither.
but
Can't
and
be that
very
hard.
little about graphic design anymore. So should be fine.
It'll work out.
Create MMO.
Mm-hmm.
Market MMO. Question mark. Question mark. Question mark.
Profit. We need a whiteboard.
Fuck it. Whiteboards are expensive.
Yeah, that's true.
I say we scrap the whole concept.
And that's about it. Other than we had a cat die on Sunday.
Oh man,
Yeah,
I'm sorry to hear that.
and I knew on Friday night that it
It
was
was about that time.
about that time. Because I mentioned to Nikki, I was like, "Hey, I think Kara is going to die soon because she had been peeing a lot on the floor, which is out of character for her.
Sure, yeah, that's a definite sign.
And so I was cleaning up pee off the kitchen floor about twice a day for a couple days. And it didn't smell like cat pee. Cat pee has a real distinct odor to
Yes,
it.
it does.
This smelled like nothing, which was like, that's probably not good. So I looked it up.
Sound like her kidneys are failing.
Yeah, it could.
Oh,
It
processing and not processing ammonia.
Yeah, it was potentially that or diabetes. And I was like, I guess cross my fingers for diabetes because potentially she'd have longer to live. But we scheduled a vet appointment for her on Tuesday, and she died at home on Sunday. So it was tough because Saturday, watching her like crawl into bed was like heartbreaking because
dude.
she struggled to get into like
Yeah.
a 2-inch high like cushion bed.
Yes.
And then once she got in it, she just like fell over. You know what I mean? Like it took all the strength
do.
she had to
I
crawl
do.
up in there.
Both my cats had. They were so old, their brains just stopped working, and they
Yeah.
were having seizures, and they couldn't walk, and they would get into their beds and fall, and yeah, I'm sorry, man, that sucks.
That does suck. You've had her for a very long time.
Yeah, we think she was about 19 years old.
I say, you didn't even know how old she was when you got her.
She was the same age as my first cat, Pixel.
Oh, is that right? Yeah.
He was 19 when he died.
Yeah, I mean, she lived a good life. I'm sad about it, but also it's kind of like, I mean,
That is
at least she lived a long time, and she died at home, which is
Yeah.
never had a.
didn't have to be put to sleep.
wasn't put
didn't have
down.
that anxiety of being at the vet. you
So
know.
she got a lot of attention for the last couple days. So
Kitty,
yeah,
I'm sorry.
thanks.
I know that sucks. That makes
Yeah.
me sad. That makes me think about my little
Yeah,
guys.
Sorry,
No, it's okay.
but yeah, we got her cremated. Got her remains back today. So
Good deal.
we're all set. We got the three amigos all together again. Cosmo, Ein, and Kara. So.
Nice.
Man, one thing that I was really surprised by, because I didn't realize that she had died so we've got a cat named Berlioz, a black cat. He's a big boy. Damn good.
Big boy
damn good
Berlioz,
cat.
black cat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great cat. Fantastic. Love this guy. He's more a dog than a cat. When I pull up from work and I pull up in the driveway, I see him looking out the window, like waiting for the car.
What is that cat doing?
So he's big and we have a baby gate that blocks off the kitchen because we don't want Clementine the dog to get in and eat the cat food that's laid out in the kitchen. So, and he's a big boy and doesn't like to jump over the gate. So a lot of times he'll wait for me to open the gate. And I opened the gate, and that's where we had moved Kara's bed to the kitchen.
So she could get to the food easier.
So the bed was right next to the food and water. She was isolated from the dog,
Right.
who wasn't really mean to her, but also didn't really know the limits of an old cat, and would like to play and that kind of stuff.
Sure.
And I opened the gate, and Berlioz, he has this, man, when you open a door, that dude wants to go through it. And he wants to go through it first before you.
Yeah.
Like, that's his deal. I go through the door first. You open the door, I go through it.
Back off, cuck.
That's right. I'll take the point. So I opened the gate, and he walked in and then, like, froze. And I was like, that's weird. You don't ever do that. And then I, like, looked where he was looking, and he was looking in her bed. And, yeah, she was dead. And it hadn't been very long because it hadn't been that long since either of us had been in the kitchen. But it was just weird that he knew. He knew. And then Nikki said that she had read online that like it's a good idea to like let the other animals sniff
so they don't wonder what happened,
Right.
where they went.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
they say to do that for people, especially for dogs. If someone in your home dies, or a relative if they have a pet, it's a good idea to let them smell the body to know that they're dead.
Interesting.
So that they don't constantly look out the door wondering where they're at.
Develop some anxiety
they know
about it,
how to
yeah.
identify death, and they know that person or that animal or that thing that's always in my space is no longer going to be in my space. It's weird.
Man, it makes sense.
It does.
I mean, animals could definitely develop anxiety over
Absolutely.
stuff. So, I mean,
God.
we fought that for a while with Kara after we moved. She was so, I guess, stressed out that she had like licked the tip of her tail bald.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So she had this like little like wyvern stinger.
Yeah.
But yeah, when we brought him in, because like Berlioz noped out and left, and then I brought him back in after a little while, and it was like, man, he didn't know he could die until now. Like that's how he was acting.
Really?
Because he was like real like standoffish and like scared.
Oh man.
And then Clementine just she didn't care at all. She just wanted to eat the food that was in there. But
Yeah.
at least she knows.
Priorities. Oh man, sorry about the cat. Where's that cat food? She gonna eat it now?
Right,
or am I getting her part of the cat food?
How does this work out?
Got any war eagles?
Yeah, Henry's mind was off of War Eagles for a full day.
Yeah.
Maybe two. Yeah.
I remember it was a long time ago when I was watching something where they talked about how the cats see us as other
As cats. Right, I've heard that too.
Yeah. And I remember when I told that story, you were like, what do they think when I go to work then? Like, what's that cat doing? That's why I said that a second ago.
That's why you said
and
that.
You looked like, what?
I was confused. I thought you were making there's a Brian Regan joke where he's talking the bits about dogs talking to each other. And I was like, is he referencing that Brian Regan joke?
No, just you didn't recall like a 10-year-old passing joke I made for me to reference it.
No, but I remembered it. When you jogged my memory, I totally recall that conversation. You're right.
You remember that time I got you that banana?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it.
Oh, shit.
That's it. I guess, whoa, no, there's one other thing.
I thought of something too.
Let's go back.
Go ahead.
I 100%ed Super Mario Brothers Wonder.
Nice.
That was the end bit of that was a bit of a chore, like more so than I thought it was going to be. But it was all in all, it's a great game. I really liked it. I think that's up there. That's up there with like the NES games and the Super Nintendo.
Really?
Yeah.
Heard good things.
Yeah. It's a good one. It's up there for me. And then there is a game called Suika Game, which is a puzzle game that I have been playing that is really cool because it is like it's a puzzle game where you try to like match fruit to fruit. Like you match a cherry and a cherry and it turns into a strawberry. And it's like there's a hierarchy to it.
As God intended.
It's God intended. You match two strawberries together, turns into a grape. Two grapes together, turns into a tangerine. Two tangerines together, an orange.
This is all things we know.
Yeah, this is science. We all took biology.
What is this? 3rd grade science? Come on, Dave. What's your point?
The goal is to combine them all until you make a giant watermelon.
Oh, well, duh. Yeah,
The god fruit. But the problem is that you've got a constrained space to do it in. So as you combine fruits together to make larger fruits, they take up more space in your container. And then the other layer on top of that is that it's a physics-based puzzle game. So you have to take into account where it's like, okay, if I drop this cherry here, is it going to hit that tangerine and roll down in between of two oranges so they can't touch?
Holy shit.
It's cool. It's $3.
Where is it on Steam? Like
it's-
on your, what are you playing it on?
I'm playing it on Switch, but I don't know. I don't know where all it is.
You said Suiko game, like spelled like Suiko Den?
Suika.
Suiko.
Suika. It's the Japanese word for watermelon, which I think they took from Russian or something. It's like a loan word. It's in katakana, so that they took it from somewhere. Yes, Suika game. And I got turned on to it because there are a few VTubers that I watch, and they started playing it. And a lot of times they'll play like Japanese games. Makes sense because a lot of them are Japanese. And it's like, what's that one? Because that looks like... I'm not a huge puzzle game guy, but I might like to do this. So yeah, it's been fun. And Nikki's been playing it too. It's $3. So it's kind of one of those things where it's like...
Apparently, this is on, in addition to the Switch. Oh, wait, that's the wrong game. Hang on. Go ahead. I'll find the answers. And
I thought of her immediately. I thought of Nikki immediately because she likes puzzle games and she's good at puzzle games.
Yeah.
So we're kind of racing to see who can get the watermelon first. It hasn't happened for either of us yet. I got two lesser melons, but I haven't been able to combine. Yeah, I haven't been able to make the god fruit
Like
yet.
cantaloupe, a good lesser melon.
Yeah, it's either a cantaloupe or a honeydew. I'm not sure which it is. Yeah, they got pineapple in it, of course.
That should be the god fruit.
I agree with that.
What was your other thing, Ian?
I have two things. Number one, I think I have a pet raccoon now.
Oh, nighttime raccoon, hopefully.
All the time raccoon.
Ooh.
He's always around.
Foamy, my daytime raccoon pal.
Because we had a raccoon pal at work back at my last job, and that guy would like out of the dumpster in the daytime.
Oh, not that guy. No, this one. I don't know what happened here, but at some point we were feeding our cats in this like big metal shed we have out back. It's all rusty and stuff, but it's adequate as a pet feeding zone. But we were dealing with a possum that got in there.
Right. Yeah. I remember you telling me about the possum.
So eventually what we tried to do here is I closed the doors off on the shed, and I trapped the possum in there to keep the dogs, because he was cool. The possum was cool. He was a little dude. Like, you could tell he was not very old possum. And he finally I got him to come out of the shed, and he left. I shut the doors on the shed, and we put this big tarp over the table in our backyard and started feeding the cats under this table.
And that's the end of that.
Totally 100% finished with having to worry about other animals. We've always had other animals. Mostly it's neighborhood cats that get in and eat the cat food. And my dogs are such drama queens. They got to fucking, act like, they freak out.
Dogs will be dogs.
Dog's gonna dog. If you let them, they'll dog.
Mm-hmm.
So we close off the shed. We put the tarp over the table so that the cat food, we could feed our two outdoor cats without rain getting on the food. And this worked great for the raccoon that came out. I've decided to name him Dang It.
Okay.
And he is completely unaffected by my dogs, who now just ignore him.
Wow.
Well, Pixel, the little one, she barks at it and tries to start a fight with it every time they go outside. And I'm like, Pixel, leave him alone. Go pee. And she'll go pee. And that will be the end of that. Penny will walk past the raccoon and then starts sniffing around like she's looking for the raccoon. Like, guys, there's something here. I don't know what it is. Hey, what's up, man? There's something over here. It's just so fucking frustrating. But anyway, I have a video of the raccoon I'll show you on the break. But he's hungry. He's a real hungry little dude, and he is so weird. He walks around my yard. He walks all lopsided. Like he does his front paw and back paw. That's how they walk, I guess.
Like at the same time?
At the same time on the right, and then all the paws on the left, paws on the right. And so he waddles. He's real slow. He just moves real slow and methodically through my yard. Uh-huh. He'll go and poke around at some leaves, and he'll tap a basketball and walk around some more and go up in the shed. I've started feeding him in the shed, both other cats and the raccoon, because it's easier and there's less rain and there's less trouble. The other night, I went out to get something out of my office, which is in the detached garage, and I came back to the house, and he was sitting there under the table, and I was like, hey, what's up? And immediately he walks over to me and sits on my foot and starts to curl up like he's going to go to sleep.
Okay.
And I this is what I have the video of. And
nice.
And then and I'm wearing socks and sandals in the video, just saying, because I'm cool.
Hey, that's the fashion now.
What?
It was, it was taboo when I was in high school, but that is the fashion now.
Oh, sweet.
A lot of stuff. I find a lot of stuff that was taboo when we were in high school. I see dudes at the gym just wearing it.
Yep.
And it's like, wow.
Example.
Tall black socks.
Oh yeah.
Not like
that's
tall,
still a
not
problem
like
for
sockers, but like just kind of just below the knee.
Yeah.
Oh, and 70s style NBA shorts, like the short shorts.
Yeah.
Those are.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yep.
Neat.
Those are back.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to get me a pair of those. No. Anyway,
I want to see you in boy booty shorts and tall black socks.
Don't worry. I'll come dress as a Zoomer one day.
Careful what you ask for. So
I'll do it.
We'll get perms.
I pulled my.
I had to perm my beard, but
I can get a perm. My mom used to get her hair permed. God, I hated it. She looked so stupid with that perm. I was like, Mom, what? She would be, what? That stuff stinks. I don't know.
It did stink though.
It does stink, but it also looked stupid, and I just didn't have the heart to tell my mom, you look stupid.
I wonder,
Your
like,
hair looks fucking stupid.
Hack comedians were like probably real upset when perms went out of style because like I remember like for a year when I was a kid, that's like all the 50% of the jokes are about perms.
Yeah, I think Joe Pesci had a perm. Or yeah, no, not Joe Pesci. Joe. Who am I thinking of? Joe Piscopo. I always do that. I think Joe Piscopo had a perm at one point.
Joe Pesci.
Maybe Joe Pesci had a perm too. Who the
That'd
fuck
be
knows?
great.
That would be great.
Especially
anyway,
like in Goodfellas.
Well, I saw a TikTok where like it was a girl's grandma going to get her perm that she's always done for the last whatever years. She could get an appointment. She goes in and it's just like dozens of teenage boys all waiting to get a perm. She's like, what is the world now?
a pivotal moment of Legally Blonde hinges around the ins and outs of getting a perm. In case you wanted to know. Anyway, the raccoon laid on my foot for a second, and I was like, okay, I don't know what he's doing, but I don't know also that he doesn't have rabies. So
Uploading rabies to foot. 90% complete.
insert teeth slowly. He would do it slowly. Just slowly like bite down.
He won't notice.
My mosquito technique. Secret mosquito technique.
Tanya says,
They have hands. They can do jutsu.
It's true. Man, I want to see that now. AI generated raccoon hands.
Raccoon
doing
jutsu.
jutsus.
rabies jutsu.
Blood style rabies injection.
Activate. Anyway, so I pulled my foot away, and he was reluctant. He was easy going. He's like super easy going. As soon as I pulled my foot away, I'm like, all right, little dude. I didn't pet him or anything because I ain't there yet. I got to put gloves on because I don't want him to bite me. But I don't think he'll bite me. When he gets up, he gets those hackles up when the dogs come out, and he barked at Pixel last night.
It's like a Star Wars, like a Jawa.
Yeah, it was almost like he was like, yo, I've been here for 2 weeks. Stop barking at me.
I live in the possum's house.
Yeah. Remember the possum? He moved out. I'm the new tenant. Anyway, as soon as I pull my foot away, he just slowly starts walking back towards me like, oh, I'm sorry. I think you didn't notice that I was laying on your foot. So I went in. I got a video of it, though. I'll show you at the break. But
Okay.
Yeah. So dang it. It's apparently my raccoon buddy.
Okay.
We'll see how that works out.
I dig it.
I want it to be like that little gif of the dude sitting on the couch with the raccoon's eating popcorn.
I don't think I've seen that.
That's funny. I told someone else about it at work, and they posted that gif and said it was me because the guy's old and there was a raccoon in there. Anyway. The other thing I went to mention in case you're living under a veritable rock, there's a new Ghostbusters movie coming out called
I saw that trailer.
Ghostbusters Frozen Empire.
Yeah.
The trailer is out. It looks totally different than any Ghostbusters, and I am here for it.
I'm excited for it.
It looks really, really good.
I'm excited for it.
They don't. The old dudes are still in it a little bit. You know, they make their inevitable cameos. But Paul Rudd and the kids from the first one and the mom from the first one are now Ghostbusters. They're legit full-fledged Ghostbusters. And in the preview, New York freezes solid in the middle of July, a la Day After Tomorrow. If you've ever seen that movie, it's very similar to that. And it's their job that some evil spirit has frozen the city with fear, and it's their job to end it. So it looks really neat. And if you haven't seen the trailer for it, I highly recommend it because it looks very good.
Yeah.
And if it's as good, if it's even half as good as Afterlife was for me, I'll be happy.
Yeah.
With it. So that was the only thing else I needed to mention. Tyler, we've talked long enough. What have you been up to?
Melissa is now done with all the school section of nursing school.
Hey,
Nice.
That's
awesome.
all done. Yep. So now she's just doing her practicum since she works at the hospital I work at, she has to do it at the other hospital. So she's doing work as a nurse in respiratory. She basically borrows somebody else's license as they train her, and she has to do that for however many 100-something hours. So she'll be doing that for the next few months, and that'll be it. Then she'll just take her NCLEX to get her license, and that's it. She's done.
Cool. That's great.
She's already got interviews lined up and all sorts of stuff. Like they were chomping at the bit. They need nurses so badly, so she's got to pick up a lot of good stuff. So
Good.
Yeah,
That's
good
great.
on
very,
you,
very
Taz.
proud of her.
Yeah.
I'm glad you remember that reference. My travel for the other week, that sucked. Because I had to go to a hospital in the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania. So they don't really include the airport that's here in Paducah because it only flies to Chicago. So I had to, drive from here to Nashville, go from Nashville to Charlotte, North Carolina, then fly to Pittsburgh, and then from Pittsburgh drive 2 hours, middle of nowhere, to this hospital. The town wasn't as small as I thought it was going to be the way they talked about it, but
Is it anywhere near Scranton?
I don't think so.
Damn.
I work with somebody who lived in Scranton.
All right.
Yeah.
The Electric City?
I watched a show about Scranton. Really?
Boy.
It's kind of dumb. I wouldn't
It's a
recommend
murder
it.
documentary
ask
about a
you
train.
about that show.
You've never heard of it, I promise. It's obscure.
So I learned some good things, but like the travel just sucked. And of course, I was there for Halloween, so I didn't get to do any Halloween stuff. And it snowed, so it snowed when I was up there. I didn't bring a jacket, didn't bring anything, and it was fucking cold and snowy the whole time.
You're like in a t-shirt?
Yeah, I want my chef coat was the warmest thing I had.
Oh, no.
Damn.
Good information, but the travel just sucked. Like straight, if I could have flown just from Nashville to Pittsburgh, would have been an hour and a half. But instead, it was like 6 hours to get there.
Why couldn't you have done it that way?
I guess maybe the company has some sort of partnership with some company, so it's just
Oh my God.
whatever they probably get tons of discounts, and it's just a cheaper way for them to fly. I just have a bunch of 2-hour layovers.
Yeah, but then like you gotta drive.
I for the same amount of time I could have just driven straight there.
But I mean, you
It
had
made like $600 in mileage. In retrospect, I wish I would have done that.
yeah.
It was good training. My executive chef is there now. He got a lot out of it. He called me today, so it'll be good.
Cool.
So missed out on Halloween. That was unfortunate. Other than that, it's about all I got. I watched Judge Dredd.
I also watched Judge Dredd.
I watched it again this morning at work. I couldn't get it to play on the thing.
Yeah.
Couldn't get it to come up.
Yeah.
So I was gonna go rent it.
Uh-huh.
It was $4.19 to rent it.
Uh-huh.
$4.99 to buy it.
No.
Yeah.
So I bought
Yep.
it.
Yeah, I would have too.
I mean,
I
why
rented
the
it
fuck
because I
not?
knew I'd never watch it again.
I
I
rented
probably
it too.
won't, but it's like for 80 cents more.
Right,
I'm
yeah.
just gonna buy it because who knows? Maybe
Right.
it'll come up again.
Yeah. Oh shit! We accidentally erased the Judge Dredd episode that we did 5 years ago. We're gonna need to redo it.
I've got to watch it again. That 80 cents really paid off. I just don't know why it was $4.19 to rent Judge Dredd. Everything is like $2.99
Right.
usually
Yeah.
on Amazon.
Yeah.
So yeah, I own it now.
Awesome.
Well, I'm sure we could probably just do maybe a lightning draft at the end, since I know we'll want.
Oh right.
Let's lightning.
We want a
draft.
lot of
Yeah.
We don't need to take another hour to do a draft, and I'm sure we want to talk about the movie and the game.
Sure.
So we're gonna take a little break before we hit the game talk.
Yeah, I want to see this
Thank
raccoon.
you.
On Ian's
Oh
foot.
yeah, I'll show you the raccoon. Stand by. I'll probably post this video to the Discord next week.
That'd be awesome.
So y'all probably already seen it. So the story's not even relevant now.
You can set a reminder to post it on Discord the day the episode
The day
drops.
the episode drops. Okay.
Eat recycled food. It's good for the environment and okay for you. Please make your selection. Insert your credit in the slot.
We have 5 seconds to surrender.
Dredd, it's just a servo droid.
The servo droid
Dredd.
is your friend.
5,
Please let your
4,
friend go by.
3,
You are in the way of the servo droid.
1.
Boy, am I glad to see you.
Mega City Code 7592. Willful sabotage of a public droid. That's 6 months, citizen. Let's see your unicard.
And now for the game talk.
The slightly better audio quality game talk. I fucked up and recorded it on the internal mic, so we had to use our backup. So
which hopefully sounds great.
hopefully it sounds great. And if
Don't
I
know for
hadn't
sure.
said anything, you would have never noticed. But
I think our more discerning audiophile listeners would have noticed. Yeah.
definitely,
Yeah.
But hey, it's a free podcast. What do you want from me?
Our audiophilic listeners.
Mm-hmm. Our audiophobic listeners, we're still trying to get to invest in the
Come
show.
on, come on.
Try it.
Don't just watch the YouTube screen of us blinking, of our avatars blinking at you.
That reminded me of like when we went trick or treating. We met up with like a group of like Henry's friends, and there was an older, like I don't know, teenage girl, early teens, and because we had Clementine, our dog, she started signing to me, And she led off. I don't know many signs, right? But I know thank you. And she started off with thank you. And I was like, and I didn't know she was talking to me, you know? And then she eventually approaches and starts signing, and I don't know what she's saying. And then she starts using the letters, you know? She does a C. I know I can most of the letters. C-A-N. And at this point, I'm like, she wants to pet the dog. And I said, do you want to pet the dog? And she nodded. And I said, okay. And then so she pets the dog.
Pet that dog.
She pets the dog. And then she's like, thank you again. You know, she signs thank you. I'm like, yep, you're welcome. And then so they kind of go off. The kids kind of go off. And then Nikki like leans over to me and she says, I'm pretty sure I've heard that girl speak before. And I said, really? And I was like, huh, that's weird. I guess. I mean, I don't know. And then 30 minutes later, she's like having conversations with like the kids in the group.
Henry's told all his friends that you're deaf.
I'm deaf.
No, you guys don't talk to my dad. He's deaf. Oh, no, sign language. I'll talk to your dad.
It's weird your dad does it.
He's really stubborn. He's in denial.
Not deaf. Not.
The world just got a lot quieter. Not deaf.
But it was just one of those weird things where it's like, yeah, I remember what it was like to be like, I guess 13, 14 years old. It's like, I don't know, man. I'm just going to sign.
Well, maybe her mom was like, do not talk to strangers.
Right.
And she's
Loophole.
like, loophole. I'll sign to strangers.
I want to pet that dog.
Really want to pet the dog.
I'm pretty sure I've heard it.
Sorry, I forgot that earlier. I know we're on the Judge Dredd.
So Judge Dredd, the movie. So now I have seen all the Stallone Super Nintendo movies.
Yeah, girl, same.
I have to say, unless it's Rocky, because I've never seen Rambo, I think Sylvester Stallone kind of sucks. Or at least he sucked in the 90s. I think he's the most boring, shitty part of every one of those movies. And all the villains or female co-stars are infinitely better than he is.
I don't know if I would assign Armand Asante as being better than
I like
Stallone.
Diane Lane okay. She's no Sandra
Diane
Bullock.
Lane
Sandra
was
Bullock wins
great.
the prize.
Yeah.
She's the best part of all.
She's the best part of that.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
I thought Diane Lane was good in this.
Yeah, she was good.
Yeah.
She was good.
I
I liked Armand Asante too.
I do wish you would watch Rambo.
Melissa really wants me to watch Rambo.
Or First
never
Blood.
Never
or
seen a Rambo.
The very first one is
Yeah.
called First Blood. The other ones like you could probably take them or leave them, but the first one is really good.
Yeah.
And I do. It's like it's as good as Rocky. In that
Okay.
way, it's more obviously a very serious story with a very serious dramatic role for him. That first Rambo movie is a classic, and I do recommend you watch it.
Okay.
Put your bias down one more time and
Well,
watch.
I mean, I like him in Rocky. I liked him in Stop Where My Mom Will Shoot. I've seen that. I like him in the latest Rocky. I like him in Creed.
I think you'll like him in Rambo. I
Okay.
do. You give it a shot. But yes, I understand where
He
you're
just
coming
looks stiff
from.
and pretty.
I personally don't mind the guy in any of these movies. I happen to like him, but
Yeah.
I'm not pretending like this is a big thespian achievement
Right.
here. It is what it is.
Tyler, when you said stiff and pretty, I immediately thought of my penis.
Yeah.
But afterwards,
I thought of your penis as well.
thanks.
That's kind of it is what I was getting at.
That means a lot to me, you guys. You've really cheered me up
I haven't
today.
seen all stiff and pretty in weeks now. Dave.
Give him the old stiff and pretty. If you know what I mean. Wink, wink.
Ian, I haven't seen Short Round in a while.
No time for love. So we talking about stiff and
I
pretty.
don't get it.
Sylvester Stallone's eyes being blue in this movie.
What in the
Just about fucking ruined the goddamn
Yeah.
movie for
I
me. It's so distracting.
never noticed
Why?
it before.
Why?
I don't know. Well, because
He's a clone.
He's a clone.
Spoilers.
Yeah, spoiler alert. We're gonna spoil the shit out of Judge Dredd, and
The 95 version, so yeah, it's okay.
yeah, it's really weird.
I hated
seeing
it.
him with and they always did these tight close-up shots of his eyes to make
Unblinking,
sure
staring.
everyone knows that he has bright blue eyes that look like he's on acid. His pupils are constantly dilated, and it's weird. And I've never paid attention to that before. But I noticed it today. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with
So
Stallone's
distracting.
eyes? They're bright blue.
And maybe it's because we've been watching a lot of Stallone movies. I don't know if it would have bothered me as much, like if I just watched Judge Dredd by
Maybe.
itself, like in a vacuum. But
Yeah.
having just watched Cliffhanger and Demolition Man, it's like, man, he looks fucking weird.
Probably like,
I want to take off
"Yo,
my helmet and have blue eyes.
If you're
That's
gonna
what I gotta
show, if you're gonna show these, if I'm gonna have to wear these fucking contacts, you're gonna show my eyes a lot. I want lots of nice tight shots on my eyes.
Baby blues.
Nothing.
I mean, because I think I mentioned it during maybe Cliffhanger or Demolition Man that like he took over this movie, cucked both directors that tried to do it, and just kind of ran the production into the ground. Went way over budget. Audiences hated the original cut of it.
Is
so
that
they had
right?
to change it, and yeah,
Do you know what the original cut was
I
like?
don't remember what it was. Yeah, but I remember like it was they did like 300 million over in reshoots and stuff.
Phew.
Damn.
I thought the
And Schwarzenegger tricked him into taking this one. He acted like he was interested, so he'd take it.
man, I would have
Yeah.
loved to have seen Schwarzenegger's take on.
Well, that's
Judge
I've
Dredd.
heard that's like Schwarzenegger's whole shtick is psychological manipulation of his rivals. Because I remember one of my professors of when I was in college for exercise science, big Schwarzenegger fan. He was talking about Schwarzenegger was, I mean, he's still pretty much in his prime, but he was older than most other bodybuilders. Lou Ferrigno was coming up. So it was like Lou Ferrigno's like first huge year. Everyone expected him to win. He had like, and clearly he was like in bigger and better shape than Schwarzenegger, who had like basically won it every year before that. But Schwarzenegger, like an hour before they were all supposed to go on, Schwarzenegger goes into Ferrigno's dressing room. He's like, Lou, I just want to like come out. You look amazing. I want to say congratulations and just say, man, I've never seen somebody come so close to being in good enough shape to beat me. You came so close. You were this close, man. You look so great. I'm humbled by you. I mean, I was scared. You are so close to beating me. And he got in his head really badly. So whenever it came time to go flex and shape and do all that, he lost it. So the year Ferrigno was supposed to win, he just didn't bring his A game because Schwarzenegger was in his head. Schwarzenegger won again that year and then quit. So that's like Schwarzenegger's whole shtick is apparently he's really good at just getting in people's head about shit. So Stallone was his rival. I'm going to make him think I want to make shitty movies. And he's going to get them, and I'm going to fucking give him the finger afterwards.
Well, as an entertainer, I prefer Schwarzenegger. I think he's got a lot more charisma on screen than Stallone does. But I haven't seen Rocky. I haven't send Rambo. So, I mean, I don't know. But I feel like those aren't like real charisma roles. You know what I mean? Like,
No.
Well, but didn't people say he was going to be the next Brando after Rocky first came out?
He was really good as Rocky. Mm-hmm. He was born to be Rocky because he's playing himself. I mean, I don't know how to explain it. Dave, you should watch Rocky.
yeah.
Tyler, you should watch Rambo and then come back and talk to me because I think my love for the guy as Rocky and Rambo
They give you Stallone.
it gives me a little
blue-tinted
bit
glasses.
of a little blue tinted glasses about Sylvester Stallone, and I know the business is the business, and I know he's a bit of a diva when it comes to being in charge, and he's like
Rob Schneider will be in this too.
he's like Kevin Costner in Waterworld, you know. He fucking
Yeah,
choked,
okay.
he choked
Yep.
out. but I still like Kevin Costner. And granted, Kevin Costner is a better actor than Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah,
by all
I would agree with that.
measurements. But I don't know. I've got, and I'm not apologizing by any means. I've got a soft spot for Stallone.
Sure.
And I think I was in the right demographic when movies like this and Demolition Man and Cliffhanger all came out. I think that they were targeting me, specifically my age range and my gender at that time.
Yeah.
And I've always known how kind of dumb Judge Dredd was, but I've always kind of liked it because
I don't mean to say it's a bad movie. I liked it when I was watching it.
I didn't like it.
I think it's the weakest of the three.
It's definitely the weakest of the three for me. Cliffhanger was honestly
was great.
A joy.
It was a fun movie.
Judge Dredd felt like a chore.
They were
watching
trying to get Demolition Man vibes
Yeah.
out of it. I think they were shooting for Demolition Man Part 2 here because Demolition Man was so good.
Mm-hmm.
And it was such a surprise that it worked as well as it did. I think that was what they were shooting for here. Well, what do we do to get that same energy? What do we do to get that
Right.
same amount of money out of this kind of thing?
Sure.
So they ran with a franchise that they could afford, and they, for what the story was supposed to be, and what the movie is based on, which is a comic series from Eagle Comics in Britain, is the ones that did Judge, not War Eagles, just Eagle Comics.
Shoo.
They did the
peaked.
original series, the original comic series that they, I think, were able to probably license fairly easily, and then they just blew it out. And I liked the movie for various reasons because I did like the story. Even though it was different, even though they changed some things, whatever. I liked the story of this movie.
Yeah.
The execution was okay in parts, but for the most part, it wasn't. I understand why it's so universally disliked.
Yeah. I didn't have any. I don't know anything about the comic, so I don't have any attachment to the comic at all. But man, the movie, it really honestly, like, it's one of those where it's like I never checked the time when I was watching Demolition Man or Cliffhanger, but like every 10 minutes when I was watching Judge Dredd, I'm like, okay, how much longer we got? Okay. It felt, I don't know, man. It might have been different for me watching it back in the day.
Yeah.
And it probably would have.
Yeah.
I don't know why I missed this one. But watching it for the first time now, this one, it was way harder for me to get into than
And
Cliffhanger.
it's considerably shorter than the others.
Yeah, I know.
It's only like an hour and 40 minutes long or something.
I don't even know if it's that long.
Yeah, it's short.
It is short. I just thought that a lot of Rob Schneider didn't bother me in the movie, but what bothered me about Rob Schneider was like the whole time I'm like, why in the world is like they don't want to be paired up together? Why are they together? And I was like, there must be something at the end he's needed for.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those. And then
Yeah.
it's like, yep, he is needed to.
What
like,
is he? He's a hacker. Okay.
Okay.
There's your Chekhov's gun.
Right. Oh yes, and there's a big robot that
Needs to be hacked.
the evil twin has awakened that needs to be hacked. Yeah, go figure. It would have made more sense to me if Judge Dredd had known that.
Right.
Because then it would have been like, okay, then it doesn't feel so stupid because Dredd could be like, you're coming with me because
Right.
you can disable
You
this
can
thing.
do the thing.
Right.
You can. We're living in a world of technology, and I may need your skills to get me through the next door.
Right,
And
yeah.
I agree that they should have just said that.
It would have been nice. But because they don't, it's one of those things where it's like, good thing Rob Schneider was with them the whole time. So I don't know. I chalk that up to like slop. It feels sloppy.
It was
like the
sloppy.
sloppy writing that I feel like Cliffhanger and Demolition Man didn't have. You know, I felt like as schlocky as like both of those movies are at times, especially Cliffhanger. It's like Cliffhanger to me felt like they know what they're doing.
Right.
And Judge Dredd to me kind of felt like
They were taking themselves too seriously.
yes, yeah. I think
Who
so.
takes a better bullet to the gut? Rob Schneider in Judge Dredd or Tim Roth in Reservoir Dogs, because a bullet to the gut is taken very differently in these two movies.
See, there needed to be a scene where Judge Dredd says to the guy, "You're going to be okay.
I'm fucking dying, man.
Say the goddamn words. You're going to be okay."
Oh, look at my... Oh, no, I got shot in the stomach.
It's a good thing I'm not shot enough to not be able to hack this robot, or I really wouldn't have had a purpose in this movie.
What would have been great is when Rob Schneider was shot in the stomach, if the spaghetti from the earlier scene in the movie where he's inside the recycled food robot had shot out of his stomach. That would have been like, okay, this is like stalactite kill moment and cliffhanger for me. I'm gonna bump Judge Dredd up a whole grade.
I did laugh at the recycled food robot. Like, eat recycled food. It's good for the planet and okay for you.
Right. With the fucking Coors
sign on top of it.
rotating on top of it. This scene brought to you by Coors.
There was one. So in the very beginning of the movie, and I don't have a lot of like facts on this one, like I did with Cliffhanger.
me neither.
But at the beginning of the movie, when Rob Schneider's character is paroled from having he did like a nickel in the Aspen Penal Colony. Aspen being the coldest place in the world. Ooh, it's a prison in a cold prison. He gets paroled and he gets off the bus and he walks into the city and they show this, it's a mega city. It's very anime. It's very what every anime expects Tokyo to look like in the future.
Yeah, Neo Tokyo Shadowrun.
Yeah, huge. You can barely see the sky. The Statue of Liberty has now been relocated into the middle of the city, and they have to say that. It's a plot point.
Yes.
By the way. The only time we've ever seen a power surge like this is when they relocated the Statue of Liberty. You could almost hear bum bum bum
Right.
in the background, right? Well, anyway, you see Rob Schneider looking out over the city, and it like pans up to give you this like big look at the big, gross, dirty, filthy, futuristic city.
There's a swimming pool with girls on one of those buildings, though.
I found myself looking at the signs.
Me too.
One of the signs was very like indistinct. You almost couldn't see it. I happened to see it, and it said, "Eat." It was for like a restaurant or a business, and it was eat your own stuff.
Yep. I know, man. Yes.
And I saw this sign, and I thought that used to say shit.
Did it really?
No, I don't know. I'm saying I bet that sign at one time said shit, and someone said, "No, we're gonna have to change that to say stuff." Because we all know what it means.
Recycled food. Eat your own shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought of that, and I thought I would love to find out if that sign originally said "eat your own shit."
That's funny. That never crossed my mind.
But it would have
makes
probably gotten if it had been seen and noticed and gotten, it probably would have. I think they were going for a movie that was a little bit less over the top violent and over the top vulgar, and because it really wasn't that violent and it really wasn't like super vulgar. And they tried to like do the thing where they created their own curse words, like new curse words that are being said in the future, which fell flat.
They almost always do.
Super contrived, like worse than usual.
Yeah.
For me, anyway. I was just like, God, some things are timeless. Let's just stick with fucking shit and not dorg and garsh or whatever the fuck. I can't even remember what it was, but it wasn't. It was stupid. I'm trying to think. Oh, the costume was designed by Gianni Versace.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Yeah.
I just listened to the last podcast on the left about his murder.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he
Spree
designed
killer
the
killed him.
costume.
Wow.
The judge costume was designed by him.
I like the costume.
I thought the costume was pretty spot on, actually.
Yeah,
I thought
think
it
it's
was
one of the
really
best
good.
things about the movie is I thought like the costumes in general.
I liked Max von Sydow, a.k.a. Ming the Merciless,
Yeah.
a.k.a. Leland Gaunt from Needful Things, a.k.a. the bad guy, the dude from Minority Report. Have you ever seen that?
No, I haven't.
don't want to tell you anything about that. That's another really good one, but I almost spoiled it for you. And that's one I don't want to spoil for anyone because it's a great movie. Anyway, I always forget that he isn't the one that betrays Judge Dredd. I always think he's going to betray Judge Dredd. Every time I've seen this movie, I think he's fucking lying. He's not. He doesn't have Judge Dredd's interests at heart, but he does.
Yeah.
And but we get this moment where Judge Dredd and Rob Schneider's character, whose character's name eludes me, are
Herman. It's Herman something. Herman Funky.
We'll go with Hermie.
It's like Herman
call him
Funkster or something
Hermie.
like that. Yeah.
Anyway, Judge Dredd gets framed for murder, and stripped of his judginess, and is sentenced to death. But the
Harry
Max
Potter trials and Harry Potter are more complicated than
Yeah,
the fucking
so
Judge Dredd.
Max von
trial.
Sydow is a judge. He's a senior, like a high judge, councilman, whatever. Because he's been a cop for his whole life, and so at retirement,
They even harvested his DNA. 'cause he was
yeah,
so good.
as part of the big project and as Janus, but as part of the deal, like when you're a judge, when you finally reach the age of retirement, you're required by tradition to do what's called take the long walk. What that means is you basically walk. They boot you out of the city, and you walk across the desert to take the word of law
Go
from
to the cursed earth.
Mega City 1, and you go across the cursed earth and spread the word of law to the heathens. And so usually when a judge retires and decides to take the long walk, his last request is honored. I mean, he makes a request. He steps down as a judge and makes the request that Judge Dredd not be put to death, but rather sentenced to prison.
Which all of it was a manipulation the
Yes.
whole time.
So they agree, and they put him on the bus, the flying bus to the prison, and they flying over the desert, and then they get shot down by cannibal hillbillies, extremely religious cannibal hillbillies, and they're about to be spit roasted when all of a sudden Max
Not in a
von
fun way.
Sydow, not in a good way. Max von Sydow walks in and stabs the bad guy or shoots him, and he's like, "Oh, you saved me! Now we're gonna team up and take down the." It was like Willie from the. It was like
The axe in his back.
groundskeeper Willie was getting an axe in his back. Because, I mean, it was like, oh, sweet, this dude's here. We're going to take down this corrupt system. And then the other bad guy who we thought was dead runs him through.
The half robot one with the egg timer on his forehead.
So we lost him.
And that death was a bad death.
It was a bad, badly done.
Badly done. I
Badly
watched it and I was
executed.
like, you couldn't have done a second take on that because he literally goes,
Yeah.
that's how he dies.
Yeah. Right after giving Judge Dredd every piece of vital information he needs.
Exposition dump. I could have told you all of this before I left, but it just so happens that we met here in this hillbilly's abode.
Yeah, he just turns his head to the left.
So we
And
made you a
dies.
brother who something went wrong, and where you're the perfect cop, he's the perfect criminal.
Which
Oh no!
is a surprisingly fresh take on the whole Demolition Man thing, huh? Again, this is a direct ripoff. I mean, not the DNA, but we did have Super Cop versus Super Criminal. It was the same concept. It's once again they're just trying to get what they could get.
I'm curious if this was based off of like an actual storyline that was in the comic, or if this was whole cloth. Like we're taking the setting and we're doing an original story.
From what I
setting.
understand, and I don't know much about the comics either, but from what I understand, this was nothing like the comics, and that they just made their own story. So again, I think they took the franchise and twisted it to try to be like Demolition Man and failed. The newest Dredd with Carl Urban is on point.
That movie
with
fucking
the comics,
slaps.
and
I
that
love
movie
Dredd.
So good.
I love Dredd.
That's
great. Like, again, I don't know anything about the source material, but it's like Dredd is essentially, I mean, it's a Die Hard movie because it all takes place in like one location,
one building,
and during a long, continuous amount of time. Like it's not it doesn't happen over days. It's a movie that happens over the course of hours, all in this one building. That movie fucking rocks.
They got it right.
Yeah, I love Dredd.
That was one that we might not have ever gotten if the first one that we're talking about now, the 1995, didn't happen.
Yeah.
Because that needed redemption, and they got it. It's so, to the audience, as we're talking about the Judge Dredd movie with Sylvester Stallone, I do recommend you watch it to get a good laugh and to know what we're talking about. But also, you should watch Dredd.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I recommend Dredd wholeheartedly.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because it's good, not just because of this one, but because it's good.
And they do a good job, I feel like, of, again, I don't know if that Dredd is based on an actual story from the comic or not, but I feel like I
think it is.
I would believe it because it's a lot more straightforward, and there's a lot like what bugs me in Judge Dredd is like, I feel like the evil twin story would have made like a great second movie.
Yeah.
Like after you really get to know the character Judge Dredd, you know what I mean? Because it's like, to someone who doesn't know anything about it, you don't really, I mean, I don't feel like they did a really good job of like developing the character of Judge Dredd before they introduce his chaotic,
You didn't think
evil brother.
The fake baby picture, where they remove the pixels of the parents that are fake, and it's just a baby on a lab table.
Yeah, that's a weird scene, man.
These pictures are state of the art 20 years ago, but they're fake. If I make it look, it's a baby in a lab. Same clothes, same everything. He's just on a lab table by himself.
And also, it's kind of like one of those things where it's like, this is a photograph to like prove to Judge Dredd that, don't worry, you're definitely a human that definitely has parents. It's all, I mean, it's like what?
As if he questioned it at some point, just out of nowhere.
Yeah, he's like 15 years old. Wait a minute, I wasn't made in a lab, was I?
Jesus
Totally
Christ,
normal.
you got it in one. What the
Somebody get a picture. I'm gonna set the baby on the lab table. Everybody get out of the shot. Everybody move. Get a picture of just the baby in front of the equipment. All right. Well, this picture never come to light. So let's not destroy it. Let's Photoshop parents into it.
Sir,
Just
couldn't we
slap a
hire
sticker on the
actors?
top.
Then no future graphic designer would be able to figure out this is a fake.
Judge graphic designer, fix this.
It's not the way we do things
Graphic
here.
designer Dredd.
I have a student who is a master of looking at cameras, and he said, this could be faked. Oh, no.
I knew the lab secretary shouldn't have put this photo together.
But DNA guns, well, we can't argue with DNA guns. Judge Dredd did it.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I do. Yeah, I do think there are some things that are cool about it. Like, I mean, the whole like a judge's weapon can't be fired by anybody but the judge. Like, that's cool.
Lawmaker.
The lawmaker. Right. And I think like even
And only those guns. Any other guns that any of the other judges have, but only the pistol, because all the other judges that charge Dredd and have the big shotguns, he can grab those and fire back all day long.
Yeah,
but it's
but
only the pistols.
I don't think those were judges though, because those dudes didn't have like they didn't have the costume, because like those dudes were just like dressed in black.
Yeah.
I felt like those were just like
And if they were like dark judges.
troopers or something. I think the dark judges are a thing, but I think
The dark judges are a thing.
I think they're like judges that have gone bad. I don't know, but I know they're a thing. The dudes with the machine guns, I think those are just like fucking
Cops?
dudes.
I don't know, because the whole point was we need to combine the cops and the
Right.
judicial system, and then we'll make it. But we're still gonna have to have
We
cops.
still have cops, and we still do tribunals.
And court.
Well,
We still have court,
we've
but
got a bad
only
one.
if a judge does something wrong.
System's falling apart, man.
Let's make it so convoluted that everyone just goes along with it.
We kill everybody for no reason. What are we going to do with the evil criminal judge? We got that spare Magneto jail just hanging out back here. Let's put him in the Magneto jail for 20 years.
A couple of gun turrets right next to it, and it'll
Yeah,
be,
that is weird as
flawless.
fuck, isn't it? They kill everybody else.
Everybody, no problem. Like on the spot, dead, judged.
But wait, was that part of the plot? Because like I get lost in this.
People are wanting to be more murderous, but the old judges want to still go by the right of law, and the new ones like, nah, dude, we got to kill people more easily. They're getting out of line. We got to kill them more easily.
It's a weird way of going about that,
Yeah.
right? I guess when you don't have legislation anymore, that's the only way to
Or
do
at the
it.
end of the movie, no government at all. I'm a street judge.
and I'm late for
I don't
work.
care if there's no government. You guys want me to be the government. I'm not going to be the government. Rides off.
And they all laugh and cheer.
Yeah.
We don't have any government.
But,
It's a weird ending.
Judge Dredd,
He should have just said, Hershey, you're the one. I'm just a street. But nothing. He's just like, no. Drives off.
but he smiles, Tyler. He smiles.
and then
That
got kissed.
is worth a lot. Ooh, my watch says it's too loud in here.
Oh,
Don't listen to that fucking watch. Yeah, there was a lot of corn in this fucking movie.
yeah.
Just a
Yeah.
lot of corn.
So what I thought had potential whenever, of course, so the whole thing of Project Janus is they want to clone the perfect judge, but they were taking too long to grow, so they scrapped it. But then now their cloning technology is fast enough where they can clone a full judge in 8 hours. Well, they only get like 6 hours in before Armando Sante's like, I need backup. Hatch them. Bring them out. So you got
that was
these
so gross.
albino swamp thing
putties.
clones. Yeah,
Gross.
but then nothing.
Then they blow up.
Yeah, they just
Right.
blow up.
Yeah.
I wanted like a showdown between like two of them in Dredd. Like, do fucking something with it. Nope.
Feel
blow
like
up.
they. First of all, they just basically reused the ending scene of Demolition Man.
Yeah.
The same room. It's almost like
I
the
know,
same
the cryo
room.
chamber.
And
Yeah.
And second of all, why is it that the Stallone action movies don't understand how fire works? Like, you can run away from fire very easily. It's
Dystopian
easy
fire.
to outrun, especially if it's shot in slow motion. They were running through a tunnel when they snuck back in the city.
Yeah.
They had 30 seconds to beat this, like, it was this trash incinerator fire jet thing. And they run. They just run because, of course, you know, Rob Schneider trips and falls. And, Judge, I'm going to die. I don't want to die. Then get up, motherfucker.
I need you to hack the giant robot that laughably punches people at the end of this movie.
So they run. And it's like, did you ever watch that movie? And I know you've seen Independence Day whenever
yeah.
the big fire happens, and,
Yeah.
and the girl, what's her name? Will Smith's love interest, Jasmine. Jasmine. I can't say it right. I gotta say Jasmine.
No, you're saying it perfectly, right?
Jumps into a closet in a tunnel, and the fire just goes right past the door.
Uh-huh.
Doesn't go into the
No.
room that she's in.
I'm pretty sure fire works that way, Ian.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, well then hell. I don't know what I'm so upset about.
I've watched a lot of Mythbusters.
Fire doesn't go through doors. Got it.
Straight lines only.
Straight
That's how fire
lines
works.
only.
That's Mythbusters 101. Fire, straight line only.
T-Rex is
room
tracked by
wasn't-
movement. Fire goes in straight lines.
That's
The
it.
room she was in didn't have any oxygen in it. That's why
it.
there was no fire. Anyway, yeah. Fire bad.
Well, also, I was confused by that scene because they're supposed to run down the corridor in 30 seconds, right? Because they've got 30 seconds between the fire jets. And they fail that, so Stallone shoots the floor out, and they go down there. Why then did they... Why didn't they just do that? You know, that just seems
Why
easy.
was that not
And-
the plan?
Right,
And
yeah,
why
right.
is
That,
why
then
is
we could
that
do it in like
there?
10.
Right.
What's the purpose of that being there?
I think garbage,
It's garbage.
was my guess.
It was garbage.
Like
But there's like a grate that requires like to be shot to move, so that the garbage doesn't go up
The
into that
ash
pipe and
falls
go up.
down into that. They land in a big pile of.
Okay,
of
all right,
ash.
that makes that makes sense. Okay,
I guess that's what happens.
No, that
I
makes
don't
sense.
know. It's what we
in,
call
in an
it's what we
otherwise
call a
flawless
MacGuffin.
logical movie.
a big old flaming MacGuffin. How are they going to get back in the city? I don't know. Fire jet incinerator.
The law doesn't make
tubes.
mistakes, but you were guilty.
I said law.
It's the law.
I said the law. That's it. Period. The law. The law. I am the law.
I think the movie would have been a lot more interesting.
That's the first fucking thing he says in that movie.
It is.
I am the law. I didn't remember that being the first lines he spoke in that movie.
It's his most famous
So-
line.
so
Genetically.
in the movie.
I am the
That's
law.
God, the more I'm talking about it, the less I like it. We need to see.
I wanted more judges. I think that would have been a lot more interesting.
Yeah.
Like, I think honestly, a story about like a judge, not a clone brother of Judge Dredd, just a judge that they introduce goes rogue. I feel like that is like, oh, okay, you got 8 of these guys, and you got to figure out which one of them is like has gone rogue.
yeah.
Like, I don't know. There's no intrigue at all. Like everything in the movie. I mean, I get it. It's an action movie, but there's more intrigue in Cliffhanger, like for sure, because there's like this relationship
Yeah.
between, the
Yeah.
bad guys where it's like, which of the bad guys is going to win? And by that, I mean, die last,
Yep.
I'm always wondering that in that movie, but
Well, I just want something of a more interesting villain in all these movies because they're all just
Supervillain.
single
Yeah.
dimension,
Yeah.
chaotic, evil villains.
yeah.
Like there's no like reason why they're like that. There's no redeeming qualities. There's no second thought. There's no depth at all.
I would like for this movie to have been done differently, and and I think I would have liked for it to have been Judgy Dredd. And just have him like walking around being all passive aggressive about people's
Okay.
behavior.
okay.
Oh, you're gonna wear that sweater, huh?
I mean, it's not against the law, but
Sugary soda with
Joan
your lunch
Rivers
today,
as Fashion Police Judge
Judgy Dredd.
Judging Dredd.
that'd been pretty good.
Hey, what are you wearing? God, I did love Fashion Police.
You know
when
they
Joan
make
Rivers was
electric
alive back in
cars
the day.
now, right? I'm just saying. It's fine.
You don't love the Sea-Doos with wheels that they're Judge mobiles?
That never
Because
worked.
Melissa was like, "Are those Sea-Doos?"
Do sea-doos fly?
We're like
Yeah.
Sea-Don'ts.
Hey.
I thought we talked about the gun a little bit earlier. What was it called again? The Lawmaker? The Law...
Sure. Lawmaster, lawmaker,
5,000. But the guns that the judges used, that whole scene. I did like the scene where Judge Dredd appears at the block war as backup. I did like that scene. I thought that was a fun scene.
The opening scene.
The run's only
One of the
yeah,
opening
318 feet.
The opening
Right.
action scene. The gang war at Heavenly Towers.
Yeah. I thought
was
that was
great.
nice.
It was a great
I liked
opening.
that, and I was like, the movie hadn't lost me at that point. And in fact, because it was like, okay, all right, Judge Dredd might be a better movie than I expected it to be. And then I do feel like that's the strongest. Honestly, I feel like that's the strongest scene in the movie.
I actually really liked the chase scene where they were on the flying Sea-Doos. I actually liked it. It was very
Yeah.
Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, for sure.
You could see the Gen X influence on
Yeah,
that right there. There was people like, oh, we got to make this like the sounds and it even looked a little like Return of
Totally.
the Jedi.
I get-
it
yeah.
was a mixture between the Death Star run and the Endor speeder bike scene
Yeah.
in Jedi. And I thought that was kind of nice.
I agree.
I thought it was a good scene.
Yeah, and I got those vibes totally too,
Yeah.
and that probably has a lot to do with why
Yeah,
I liked
yeah.
it. But yeah, I like that one too.
I wish I had seen this before I had seen the Santa Claus. Because when the Santa Claus is reading his list and the very first name is Armand Asante.
Damn.
I remember watching Santa Claus and being like, I feel like there's something there, but I don't understand what it is.
Oh, you think that's a reference to that?
Just that I guess he has a very high on the alphabet name.
Well, sure. I'm
So,
just saying
but
that
I don't
if he
know
was
what
on
it
the naughty
was,
list,
but-
it's because of what he did in Judge Dredd. Santa, you were so bad. Santa ain't coming to you in the past.
I like the way Rico dispatched all the judges, like just using his knowledge, where they are, their vulnerabilities, and wiping out 108 judges in 45 minutes or something.
Yeah,
But I was
Chaos.
never bored.
Anarchy. Yeah.
I mean, I saw how this, some parts were stupid, but they were stupid in a funny, campy way. Like, I didn't hate it at all. I didn't hate any of these movies. I was entertained throughout by all these.
they
movies.
all have their charm.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't hate it either. I was disappointed by it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Compare. It
Easily-
is definitely the last on the list.
Easily the weakest of the ones we've seen.
And I don't think I would have been as disappointed with it if Cliffhanger hadn't been an absolute fucking surprise for
Yes.
me. Because I actually
Would have been
liked
better to
Cliffhanger.
do it
Yeah.
last.
Yeah.
In our series.
Yeah.
I think it
To
would
do
have been
Cliffhanger last?
better to do
Yeah.
Cliffhanger last.
Yeah.
Because it was not better than Demolition Man, but a rewatch of Cliffhanger in this context for me was a joy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoy Cliffhanger. Surprised the shit out of me because it was not the movie I was expecting at all, and there are moments in Cliffhanger that I will not forget.
Yeah.
I'm gonna forget everything in Judge Dredd except for I Am the Law, which I already knew, having not seen the movie.
Well, I had seen Judge Dredd a few times, not nearly as many times as I'd seen Cliffhanger and Demolition Man. But I had forgotten most of it too, so it was almost like a fresh watch.
Fresh watch. Yeah, it's not. I feel like Demolition Man is super memorable.
Yes.
Like, and granted, I saw it a couple times as a kid, when my brain was more of a sponge, but still, I
It's
mean,
better. It's
three
more,
seashells. I mean, like, there's Taco
Sandra
Bell.
Bullock's jokes, getting all the references
Yep.
wrong, like.
Yeah.
The comedic timing in Demolition Man was spot on,
Yep.
and that really shows.
If someone told me Demolition Man and Judge Dredd were the same universe, like 500 years apart, I'd be like, okay,
Yeah.
lines up.
It tracks. Well, I can tell you this much about Demolition or about Judge Dredd.
Mm-hmm.
It was good enough to spawn a video game. for the
Low bar.
Super Nintendo.
You are correct. Yep, a video game that came out the same year the movie did.
Okay,
In
got right on
1995.
that. That was part of the deal. I'm sure.
Had
Well, they already had Demolition Man template to draw off of.
yeah.
Yeah, Demolition Man the game came out in 95, the same year as this game, Judge Dredd. It was different developers, though. Judge Dredd was developed by Probe Software, same publisher, Acclaim Entertainment.
We've done like 6 Acclaim games in a row
Because of the
because
all
of
the Simpsons
and this one. These.
yeah.
Ugh.
Good old Acclaim.
So far, so good, Acclaim. Keep up the good work.
Carrying on that LJN legacy. This came out on the Super Nintendo, the Sega Genesis, the Game Boy, the Game Gear, DOS, and Windows. And I don't know
I want to see DOS Dredd.
I don't. Yeah, it would be great, right?
Or I guess in Spanish that's 2 dreads.
Dos Dredd.
Dos Dredd.
That's.
This is a platformer.
It's
the same fucking game.
It's a running gun.
Jump and shoot
Plus
man.
every other one of these games has been, except this one. Of course, we talked about Cliffhanger, and there was some neat little thingies about Cliffhanger that kind of set it apart.
Yeah.
For better or for worse, there were some good things about Cliffhanger that set it apart. Judge Dredd doesn't have a whole lot of that of setting apartness, aside from one thing, which is the option to not kill the enemies. When you fight your enemies in this game, you can beat up on them a little bit, and if they surrender and say if they put their hands up and then the word guilty appears over their heads, then you can press X.
There's an arrest button.
And you can arrest them.
The game has an arrest button.
So instead of killing them, you arrest them. A little drone comes along and flies them away. And I found out that this is the way to get health and money and points and ammo that are very hard to come by.
Yeah, you need
See, I didn't really instruct you.
I was killing everyone.
I did not know that. And I killed everybody.
Yeah,
That's one of my favorite parts of the game.
It's a good feature. It's neat.
Yeah, because it does set the game apart, like you were saying.
It's the one thing that sets it apart.
This game, if you've played Alien 3 on the Super Nintendo, you have played a better version of Judge Dredd.
Yeah.
Same developer. Alien 3 was on...
Same backdrop.
Yeah.
I mean, like the graphics are very
the
similar.
graphics. I thought the backgrounds in this game were good.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Especially compared to like Demolition Man. Like I can see things in this game. The ladders are a little tough.
That's why.
Don't get me started
Man.
on these
Box
fucking
art.
ladders.
Box art of this
Box art.
game.
Box art.
What'd you think?
There's like several images of Judge Dredd on the box.
Yep.
Like,
To confuse you.
why do we need more than one?
Which one's the real
Is this a clone thing? I don't understand. It's just the
Dreadfet.
basic bitch box art.
Yep.
Yeah, it's what you would expect from the...
If you were to compare your experience playing this game to a movie, celebrity, piece of media, what would you call it? Or what would you call it? Choose it? Compare it to?
I just did Carl Urban, and it was just because I wanted to make sure that we had a point where we mentioned Dredd. We'd already done that, so I feel like we're good there. Because he played Judge Dredd in Dredd. So that's it. It's not like a reflection on the quality of the game or anything like that.
I am woefully unprepared, so I didn't do this part.
Okay.
But if I had to say, I would probably say Demolition Man.
Okay, yes.
You know, I mean,
Fair.
I will compare this to another SNES game who it's worse. The feeling is worse, but I was brought back to the same realm as playing Cool World for the Super Nintendo.
Really?
Because I had no fucking idea what was going on. I could not beat the first level. I watched playthroughs. I read facts. I could not beat the first level. I was so fucking confused.
same. And I finally, strangely enough, I didn't have a real problem with this game. It was fine.
Yeah.
It wasn't good, but
Yeah.
it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
It was just fair to middling, right? It just didn't impress, but it didn't truly disappoint. I didn't have trouble with the controls, really. I thought they were pretty straightforward. I like the fact that you could fire in just about any direction.
You got a bunch of different weapons.
Bunch of selection of different weapons.
Pretty easily. You can cycle through
Yeah,
weapons.
it's good.
Which is, I really actually, and we're kind of drifting into good things fun things.
Sure.
That's the
It's
next.
okay.
That's the next part.
But I liked the way that you select your weapons.
Me too.
Because you stop, you pause, and then you toggle to the weapon you want, and then you unpause. And I like that there's no pressure there to be like, and you overshoot or you've picked the wrong thing.
And you can also do it on the fly.
Oh, can you?
Yeah,
really?
because I didn't know you could do
I
it
didn't
while you
know
were
that.
paused.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
Because I'm doing it
That's
because I
fucked
was
up.
doing it on the fly.
How?
R&L.
Is that right?
Yep.
That's how I did
didn't
it,
know
too.
that. No, see, I would pause it and then do left and right D-pad.
Oh, I
and
didn't know
let-
that was a thing.
See, that's cool.
That is
they
cool.
designed it in a way that it works. There's two systems that work, and then it just depends on what you
so
like.
when I first started the game, I push all the buttons.
Yeah.
You know, to figure out what they do.
Yeah,
Because I'm not
right.
going to look at the manual. Fuck the
Right,
manual.
yeah.
I'm going to look at. I'm pushing the buttons. And then I
Santa
did
Claus.
R&L. I did. Sorry, I had a little tickle in my throat. Did R&L, nothing happened, but that's because I hadn't picked anything else up.
Gotcha.
So
You just had the-
I thought it was just dead buttons.
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
even think about it. And at some point you go, so as you're going through, you find these terminals and they give you,
Yeah.
which is neat.
Yeah. Yeah.
You stop at these terminals and it tells you, gives you a menu to pick like your status, your Judge Dredd status, like how much health, how many kills you've gotten, what your accuracy is. If you're into that, it's good for information. It tells you about your ammo, and then it goes down this list of all the possible ammunition that you can have. And it's kind of like at the beginning of the movie where he starts calling out all the different
Right.
modes for the lawmaker, which I was like, well, fuck, how do you
Ricochet.
do this? So I paused the game and I happened to bump a button and I saw the little icon at the top change showing my ammo. I was like, oh, okay. So that's how I just accidentally figured out how to switch. Because at first I couldn't figure out how the fuck do you blow up. One of the missions, you've got two missions, a primary and secondary mission. The first mission in level 1 is to destroy the ammo depots, these big boxes of ammunition,
Right.
the whatever. And the secondary is to either kill or arrest the insurgents, the bad guys. And I didn't know how to blow up these boxes.
I had the same issue for a bit too.
You should just be able to shoot them.
You should be able to shoot them a lot or a little with a heavier weapon, but not just only being able to use this.
The shittiest grenade ever.
It gets into the bad for me on this one because when you have a grenade, you throw it. It has a tiniest area of effect, but they
Yeah.
always
Yeah, 4
stack
pixels.
the boxes in a way that's like almost impossible to get them all in one shot. And the grenade also bounces. And if it bounces just a little too far, you've missed, but you've only got 3. So when you run out, you've got to go backtrack through the level to find where more grenades have spawned. And so anyway, I'm going through the first level. For one thing, I can't find the fucking ladders. I don't know. I didn't know they were ladders.
Dude, the ladder.
I
I,
didn't
know,
either.
right? Because they don't look like ladders. It's
can't-
like
and
a
then-
ladder from
yeah.
a profile. You know?
Yeah,
a
like-
view.
yes.
It's like put the ladder facing front.
Make it
so that
look
we
like
know
a
the
Terminator
fucking ladders.
spine.
ladder.
Yeah.
And so finally, I accidentally, I was like, is that a, oh my God. So I climbed down the ladders. I'm like, cool. I can't get to most of the sections because at one point you have to use a grenade to blow up a wall, but there's no indication
Yeah.
that the wall can be blown up. It's just there. And it's like,
Maybe that's why I couldn't figure out
probably
what the fuck was
because
going on.
I spent an hour just trying to find where the fuck I'm supposed to go, and I accidentally threw a grenade at this wall and it blew up. I was like, "You've got to be fucking kidding me!" I finally got through.
It's
to
some kneeling on Castlevania 2 to get picked up by a tornado bullshit.
yeah.
Graveyard duck.
I got to the boss of the first level, but I couldn't get past him. I didn't want to keep trying to
Yeah.
get past him. But generally speaking, I had no problem with the game. I thought it was fine. It wasn't great. I'm not ever going to play it again, but it was okay.
I was surprised by it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was also fine. I wasn't expecting this to be a decent game.
No, me
and
neither.
it surprised me, and that was like, oh yeah, this is honestly a pretty good-looking game. I think it looks really good.
It controlled fine.
I
The
think
music,
it controls
I thought the
well.
music was
Yes, I like
good.
the music a lot. It was just I didn't like the gameplay. It reminded me of. I'm not the biggest Metroidvania guy in the world. I would go so far as to say as I don't like most of them, even the good ones, because I just don't love that genre.
It's kind of a time sink, and
Yes.
we don't have much time.
And this to me felt like each level felt like like a small, tiny Metroidvania,
It was like a Jungle Book, where it was just like shit up in the corners and weird stuff, and you had to navigate. And
because like this whole
There's
like
no map.
there's no map.
There's no goddamn map.
The first level is all about exploring the environment and trying to figure out how to get to the end of the level.
Which was, I mean, it was. If I had read the manual, maybe it would have said something useful, and I could have gotten through it. But it was challenging enough. It didn't go by too fast. It only went by too slow because I couldn't tell where I was going. I didn't know what to do. But after that, I thought, it's a decent amount of time to spend on a game, I guess.
Yeah.
If you spent the money, the long play of this game on YouTube was like 2.5
long.
hours
Yeah.
long.
Mhm.
That is insanely
Yeah.
long.
Yeah.
For
Especially-
a fucking game like this,
Uh-huh.
considering that that cliffhanger, the playthrough was like 40 minutes. And the same was Demolition Man.
Yeah,
it
it's a
was
long game.
short. This is a really long game.
With a password save, that's nice.
which
Password
is
save
nice
system.
that it has a password save system, that it sticks to the movie.
Right. Yeah, way better than Demolition
Way
Man
better
does.
than Demolition Man.
I know, like, so in one of those long plays, I saw a comment, and it was from the person who designed the background for the levels. And they're
Really?
like, man, thanks for posting this. This is like from an old long play, like 11 years ago. He's like, thanks for posting this. I designed the background levels for this game, and totally would have forgotten had you not posted this. And then he started talking about like how he digitized the movie sets in
Oh,
order.
wow.
He said because some of the levels in the game are not from the movie.
Right.
They're from the comics.
Yes,
He said, but
that
the
was
ones from the
in-
movie, we took like we took stills from
That's
the movie
really
set and then
neat.
digitized them. And I wouldn't have guessed that from looking at them because it didn't look. They look good. I'll put it that way.
Yeah,
I
it
feel like
was
they look
a good effort, obviously, and that's really neat that the guy chimed in and
thought it
said
was
that
really
there was
cool.
some information here that you might like to know.
Yeah.
So at the end of this game, there is the fight at the Statue of Liberty, which takes place just where the fight at the end of the movie was. But instead of ending after this, you keep going, and then you fight the Dark Judges. Which is from the comics. So they actually tacked on several levels after the end of the movie to sort of pay homage to the comics in the video game, to be like, yo, the movie may have forgotten,
Right.
but we know what we got here, and we want to make sure that we throw a little fan service to the true believers out there, So I thought that was really cool.
That is cool. I think it would have been neat if you would have had like the option
To play the comic version.
to start from the comic
Yeah,
version.
Yeah.
Like if there was a menu or something
that
that's
would
like
have been
movie or
neat.
comic.
That would have set this apart.
Because I would have
big
been really
time.
interested to play
Yeah.
there's a password system, so
Sure.
I guess it could be easy enough to find the passwords for when
Yeah.
the comic levels start. But
And
that is cool.
the reasoning behind not playing it more was just time. I lost track of the time and didn't get around. Even though we haven't been here for a week and a half or whatever, I haven't played it and didn't play it until yesterday. I might have spent a little more time on it. I might have even pulled the passwords and gone to the different levels and stuff just to see
See what it was
what
like.
it was
Yeah.
like.
I was so frustrated just
Yeah.
Is it just my emulator trying to play it that I feel like I ran around, shot some guys, got some stuff, ran up, found the exit to the level, which just had the up arrow, like, okay, this is where I'm supposed to go. I just don't know what I'm doing. Can't go in it.
You
and there was
have
a
you
button,
have to complete
You
your
have to
objectives.
complete your
which I
primary
I
objective.
didn't even know that.
It won't let you go through other ones.
I had that
So I
problem
thought I hit the
too.
wrong button, and there was a button on my controller that restarted the level. So if I wasn't careful, I would just restart the level.
That's an emulator thing.
Okay.
Yeah, that's definitely an emulator thing. Yeah, so your secondary objective is optional, but the primary objective in any level has to be completed before
Blow
they'll
up all
let
those
you
boxes.
leave.
Yeah.
Blow up the boxes.
And it changes per level.
Yeah,
It's
whatever
not
you're-
always
yeah, it's
blow
not
up
the
boxes,
same.
but
But you do have a primary and a secondary.
There were others I
objective.
couldn't figure out how to get to. I could see like the C1 boxes on like a ledge.
yeah,
Where
and
I
you
couldn't
can,
throw
you can
my grenade.
Push those around. So like I thought that was neat because you can push the C1 boxes around and use them as boosts to get up onto other platforms. So like there were like health power-ups that were hidden in those boxes up there, extra ammo that's up there.
The caveat, though, is that you can destroy these boxes,
And they don't respawn.
They don't
Right.
respawn, and if you would have had to use one of these boxes to get to a specific part of the level,
shut a lot.
you're done. You can't get through to that point. It's not ever game breaking. It's just like you
Sad.
can look over and see a bag of money
Right.
and a heart
that
and
you
an
really
extra
need.
life that you really need. And you're like, good thing I got this grenade out of this box that I just destroyed before I stood on it and ran over there to get all the treasure.
I went through that as well. Yeah.
That was sad.
You're not alone.
But I was not willing to go back and try again.
I also like that when you die, you come back.
You come right back.
You come right back where you left off. You don't restart the level from the beginning. It's just that's nice.
But and I'm going to be Mr. Caveat.
Yeah, okay.
You don't get any of your weapons don't. If you had one grenade when you die, you have one grenade when you come back.
Yeah.
Nothing resets
Yeah.
except your life bar.
Yeah.
And so I thought, again, it was nice that it was just like, die, come back. No weapons. Shit.
I
I actually tried dying once to see if
see
it
if you
would
would keep
reset me. Nope. It's right where I left it.
I gotta be honest. The only weapons other than the regular blaster I used were the grenades because
The
you
other
blow up the
ones
box.
were-
yeah,
yeah, they
it's
were
like
hard
I was
to-
firing rockets at dudes, and I was like, "This is not as good as the blaster, so I'm not
No,
gonna fire rockets."
It's not as rapid. It's harder to
what's the
aim.
I hit
circle?
myself with the
And
ricochet.
you can hurt yourself with the weapons. You can hurt yourself with the grenades and the rockets
Yeah.
and stuff. It's like, well, motherfucker.
Right, I'm just gonna use basic
bullet, bitch bullets.
Yep.
Hell yeah. What were you gonna say,
Yeah, you're
Tyler?
asking a question.
The ricochet bullets, the circle bullets that you would collect, they would just bounce everywhere.
Yep.
What was the purpose?
Yeah, they would just
Pretty
bounce.
much, and they would hurt you.
And they would
too.
hurt you if, Immediately, I switched to one shot at a wall and hit myself in the face. And then I was like, never using that again.
Nope. Nope. Don't want that weapon. Don't need to get hurt more. Because the fights with the enemies are tough.
Yeah,
they're not easy to kill.
I started cheesing them because I discovered that they're pretty dumb. And if I was on a ladder up above them, they didn't know what the fuck to do. But
Yeah.
they didn't know how to shoot up. So I would just
thankfully.
wait on a ladder until they got
shoot straight
close and then
down.
shoot them. Yeah. Which is not fun. You
No,
know,
it's
it's
not.
not
Yeah,
fun to
play
play
it
it that
But
way.
engaging them is dangerous.
It is.
and you could lose a lot of life because they're powerful.
Yeah, even when they're just punching and kicking you.
Mhm. And I found honestly that getting close and physically engaging them with kicks and punches and uppercuts and stuff, which is another thing.
Yes.
You know, it's got a different move set. So like if you want to do an uppercut, you crouch and push the attack
Mortal
button
Kombat
and
style.
he'll uppercut. And those physical contact did more damage than bullets.
Yeah.
For some reason.
Yeah.
But as you could almost always get them to submit right away. If you could land a punch and a kick, they would immediately submit and you could arrest them. Which I didn't do a lot of arresting until I realized that was beneficial because I started getting health back. I started getting other weapons. I'm like, oh fuck,
Yeah.
because I didn't know how to do it. Like when I was pushing all the buttons at the beginning of the game, when you press X, he like pushes his hand down, like
Right.
he's passing judgment.
Right.
And I'm like, well, clearly, which was neat because I knew immediately what that little animation was him judging.
Yeah, that's good.
And I was like, what the fuck is this for? And then I didn't put it together right away that whenever the enemy would say guilty, I didn't
I knew
think
you'd
to
say
push that button. Yeah, God, why did they not have him saying, I knew you'd say that? But then finally I put 2 and 2 together and started judging everyone that
That's
I
fun.
didn't
I like it.
accidentally kill. And then I would get health and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, fuck. I wish I had known this before. But again, the manual probably would have helped me there.
I think it would be neat to play. So I watched this movie, played this Super Nintendo game, thought a lot about Dredd, and was like, man, I kind of want to play a good Judge Dredd video game. Like that has like an RPG style almost, or like a
Where you could be a
Telltale game
judge.
style where it's like, yeah, you're a judge. You don't necessarily have to be Judge Dredd. But you're a judge in this world because I think the world is neat. I think the setting is so
neat. It's very
neat.
cyberpunk. Very, like you mentioned that earlier, Shadowrun, cyberpunk. It's that kind of world. One of the earlier iterations of that, if I'm being honest. And I think I agree. I think that would be really fun to either be a citizen.
Interesting.
Like a GTA style, you're either a judge or a citizen.
Oh yeah, what if you're a criminal and a judge? What if it's like
Yeah.
a survival horror? Where you're
Yeah.
a criminal trying to like get by in a mega city.
I think that's
All the
that's,
clone judges are after you.
oh, man,
Fuck
that's
yeah.
something that could definitely work.
Or it's like Friday the 13th, but one person plays
One
Judge
judge.
Dredd, and then
Yes.
4 people play like criminals.
Yeah. Yes. Man, that's something. I think that would do it justice where the SNES game sort of, I don't know.
Yeah, where
I'm
did
not
lose
gonna
everybody?
Honestly, it lost me because it was confusing to navigate.
Yeah, I don't like that style of game.
Yeah.
I get frustrated when it's like I see where I need to go, and I know that the game's going to make me spend 8 minutes figuring out how to try to get there. That frustrates me. It
Well, see,
grinds on my
I
patience.
love Metroidvanias.
Yeah.
But the way this was designed and carried out, I fucking hated it.
Yeah.
I hated the shit out of it. I just kickstarted a Mexican-inspired Metroidvania today on Kickstarter. I thought it looked great.
Yeah.
Where it takes place in 80s Mexico. I thought it looked, the art and direction was super cool. Like, I love Metroidvanias. This was just, ugh. It just felt like shitty hide and seek.
Yeah.
I like
So-
combat heavy Metroidvanias. I started Hollow Knight and like I probably won't finish it, but I liked it.
Yeah.
But I just know that
That
it's
was
like
not for me.
I know it's a time sink and it's like it was like okay, that was fun.
It's
and-
it's way bigger than I expected it to
It
be.
is so
but it is
big.
a little core in my heart. I absolutely
know
love
you
Hollow
were
Knight.
really
Sure.
into
Oh,
it.
man.
Yeah. And that's why I checked it out. For that reason, I knew that you loved it. I knew that Josh Nance, TADPOG Sweethearts fame, loved it. But I also knew how much time he spent on it, which was a lot of time. And it was when I was I was on a work trip and had like 3 hours to kill one night. And it's like, oh, I'll check out Hollow Knight. And I played it for 3 hours. And it was like the combat in that game feels really, really good. And it's one of those where it's like, I would play all of this if I didn't have to prioritize it in order to do it.
Yeah.
Because there are other games that as much as I think it was a great, man, I was like, wow, this is like masterfully crafted and like it looks really cool and it's fun. But there are other games that I want to play more.
Yeah.
That are in genres that I just like.
And that's the
better.
kind of game it's tough to put down and then come back to
Right.
because you got to get warmed up again.
Right.
You got to
Figure
get
out
back
where
in the
you
groove.
were, and it's so sprawling.
Yeah.
So I've thought about streaming it, but I'd have to be following a guide just to have it not be a shitty stream
You
of
running
hunting and
around
trying to remember
how to go.
figure out,
Yeah.
get my badges, wear the mask, so
Yeah. I just wanted to mention
yeah.
Hollow Knight
No, appreciate that.
Metroidvanias and all that.
Hell
yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'm ready for Silk Song if it ever happens. Ooh, ready for Silk Song. But see, Byron, her birthday.
I honestly think at the right age, at the right time, this is a buy. I think there's plenty of content here to keep you busy, and I don't find it. Once you get in the groove and get used to the way the game plays, there's enough to keep you busy and for a long time. And I think, especially if you're a fan of the movie and you wanted to, I think this one probably honors the movie it's based on better than either of the other two games
for
that
sure.
we played.
Yeah, 100%.
And I don't. It's a rare buy for me. I really think that under the right circumstances, this would be a good one to have in the clip, just to kill some time and have some fun, just roaming around and shooting at stuff. I think it's okay.
This would have been this is probably a birthday for me. Although I will say that I feel like I say this all the time, but I mean it. And I agree with what you said, Ian. At the right time, this is definitely a game that I would have stuck with.
Yeah.
And finished.
You got to think about 1995.
Right. Yeah.
In 1995, this is a buy or a good birthday.
Not in 97, but in 95, like specifically like when it came out.
And I can honestly say that Rent is probably the least preferable for this one
because it's so long.
I think that you're going to spend more money to rent it than you would to just fucking buy a copy.
See, I would
kind of like the
I would go
movie
Rent,
on
though,
Amazon.
this. I would go Rent just because I'm trying to think what would be the scenario that I would have really enjoyed this game, and it would have been in the time and having the instruction booklet, so I knew what the fuck was happening.
Yeah.
And if I would have had Josh Nance
with some friends. Yeah.
So if Josh and I back then in middle school
Team up,
we
work
rented
on
this,
it together.
played it together,
together.
had the instruction booklet, I would have had a good time.
This would have been a good time.
And Josh loved Judge Dredd. Like that's the reality in which I played this game and enjoyed it as a kid could have happened.
And this is actually one. This is one of those games where you're up until 4 o'clock in the morning with your buddy.
Yep.
On a sleepover, trying to get through it,
Yep.
and you don't even realize
How
that
much
it's
longer you got to go.
It's like,
Right.
holy shit! It's 4 a.m. and we haven't gotten close to finishing this yet.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Well, I also feel like it's one of those games where it's like, I don't know if there was a strategy guide printed for Judge Dredd, but probably not.
Probably
so it's
not.
It seems like one of those games where it's like, back in 1995, if I were playing this,
No
I'd be like,
internet.
how the fuck long is this game?
no internet, no strategy guide, nothing.
I did all the movie stuff.
Yeah, I beat my brother.
Wait, there's more? Yeah, I think I this is a strange one for me.
Yeah.
This is a strange one. I don't know. I don't know what to do with it.
Top 100, bottom 100. Where do you think you put it?
It's mid for me.
It's mid.
Mid.
It's in the
Yeah.
middle.
I think we all.
And I
agree
don't mean
mid.
that in the proper or the current
the Gen Z way.
Yeah, I mean it's middle.
We want to see what Flopsy has to say about it.
Yeah. Do you guys have any guesses what Flopsy rated it? I saw it on accident earlier, so I can't play.
Well, I'm gonna say, boy, Mercari really wants me to check out the My Dress Up Darling enamel pins. They email me about it every day. Sorry.
Well, there's only one way to make those stop.
Go buy some.
You gotta put myself. I want to see them.
Yeah, I do too. Some of them they're expensive.
Are they really?
Yeah, some of them are pretty lewd.
Speaking of pins,
They're all lewd because it's My Dress Up Darling, and they're awesome. But I couldn't put it on my backpack.
Gotcha.
I don't
not
want to
work appropriate.
Nah, maybe in a sea of other enamel pins like what I've got on there now, it might go unnoticed, but maybe not, and that could be bad. So, where was I? Oh, Flopsy. I want to think that they probably gave this one a good rating. I'm going to say, and I think it's I think at this point, I like to believe that my feelings are sort of in line with Flopsy for once. I think this one was probably 3 stars in Flopsy, and given the massive amount of marketing that happened for this game, I'm going to say common.
Okay, 3 stars common.
Yeah.
What do you think, Tyler?
For some reason, I could see it going. I don't agree with it, but 3.5 stars. And I'll say very common.
3.5, very common. According to Flopsy, a.k.a. the Ultimate Nintendo Guide to the SNES Library 1991 through 1998 by Pat Contry.
I don't know if listeners know this, but every single time Dave talks about Flopsy, he caresses it.
Do.
He reads the title and caresses the book.
It feels good.
It's probably worn like fine leather.
That genie's gonna come out one
rubbing.
One day.
One day.
But it'll be in the form of Pat Country.
Right?
Or it's going to come, whichever.
Yeah, let's say the genie hasn't come out of Straight and Pretty yet, but one of these days it's bound to. Courtesy of Monster Mold Mike and a mysterious shadowy benefactor. Oh, that binding.
God, every time with that.
Still feels good. Okay.
Crack.
Judge Dredd, 3 stars.
Hey.
Common.
Ooh.
Nailed it.
Got it in one.
Got it in one. Well done.
Thanks.
How much do you think that you would pay for this game if you were to buy it loose?
I'm going to say $11.95.
$11.95. What say you, Tyler?
$27.
$27. The price of Judge Dredd for the Super Nintendo loose on average, according to PriceCharting.com, at the time of this recording is $8.21.
You're buying that,
Damn.
right?
Yeah.
You got it.
If I can find it
You can
for
find
that.
it for that
yes.
and no free shipping or low shipping.
Low shipping. I'd do a 10 spot for this.
10, yeah.
I would do a 10 spot for this.
I'd say it's worth it.
Yeah, I totally think it's worth it. I really honestly do want to get all 3 of those Stallone SNES games now.
Well, we've honored them in one form or fashion, whether it be the movie or the game. This is one of those rare times where I do think maybe the game exceeded the movie.
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely. I think
this has never happened.
Yeah.
It's really, really
it's
rare.
super rare. Do you guys have any achievements for the game?
I have one.
Okay.
And I just came up with it right before I walked in the door.
Okay,
I am,
what you got?
Again, woefully unprepared. My one and only achievement this week for Judge Dredd is I am the lost. And to earn I am the lost, being able to figure out how to get out of the first level. Tyler got this one.
Yeah, because I've got 2. My first one being, really? Good for you, man. You unlock that by beating the first level.
Hey.
There we go.
And the other one being, get him rock. And you get him rock by killing somebody with an uppercut.
Hey, nice. I've got 3 achievements. The first of which is Judge Reinhold. In order to unlock Judge Reinhold, complete the game with a fast time while high, preferably.
Okay.
Second achievement.
I see what you did there.
Judge Mills Lane. In order to unlock Judge Mills Lane, shout, "Let's get it on!" during the final confrontation of Sylvester Stallone versus Armand Assante. Third achievement, Judge Judy. In order to unlock Judge Judy, show no mercy and always execute opponents. Never arrest.
Oh, that is such a good one. I like it.
That's really good.
I like it.
Tyler,
Yes, Dave.
if you were to give this game a beard that sums up how you feel about it, what kind of beard would it be?
I would give it the beard of one Mario from the original Super Mario Brothers movie.
Okay. Mario.
Mario.
The beard of Mario.
I forget the actor. Who framed Roger Rabbit? Hook.
Bob
Hoskins.
Thank you for
Bob
saying
Hoskins.
Bob, because I was like, brain was just like,
I
nope,
had Bob.
nope,
I just
nope.
couldn't get Hoskins. That's why we're such a good team.
Amen. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. And that one, because infamously the production and actors taking over and the directors being crazy, notoriously terrible production movie like this one.
All right.
If you were to give this game a pair of glasses, what kind of glasses would you give it?
I would give it Kevin Costner's underwater eye slits from Waterworld for the exact same reasons I gave the Mario mustache.
Okay. Perfect. I love it. We got talked about for next episode doing a Sylvester Stallone like game / movie.
We're going to pick up where we left off when we did True Lies and do a trilogy of Arnold Schwarzenegger based games.
So we're going to be doing Last Action Hero next.
Yeah. Infamously, I've heard it's one of the worst.
Oh, really?
SNES games,
Great.
yeah.
Can't wait.
Yep.
Mwah.
After that, our third and final Arnold Schwarzenegger game is going to be RoboCop versus Terminator.
It counts.
Now, that is a notorious game that I've heard is awful
Yep.
as well. So
It's got a cool looking case.
We have lots of stuff.
That black, yeah, that's a
forward to.
case.
The black
It
box.
is a case.
It isn't certainly enclosed.
Yeah, so I'm assuming that, I don't know because I've never played it. I don't know if actually a representation of Arnold Schwarzenegger is in that game or not, but we'll find out.
Yep.
Could just be a fun episode we do.
Let's see what the universe puts in front of us.
I love that. I love it.
Well, what are you guys going to do next? We want to do a community corner. We run long. How do you guys feel?
We're done.
Done? All right.
I think we've got. If you want to, we can. We're at an hour and a half for the game talk.
Yeah. Sounds good to me.
We're good.
That's great. Do we want to mention enamel pins? That there is a survey for people to take for enamel pins.
I forgot about this a lot. Over and over and over. I keep forgetting about this.
And then you mentioned the My Dress Up Darling of enamel pins, and I was like, oh, thank God he had got that email in the middle of the show.
I have a thing for enamel pins. I love them, and I like to buy them and collect them, and I like to have enamel pins like some people like to have tattoos. They have little meanings to me for whatever
shove them
reason.
into your skin.
And I stick them into my face.
You're a human corkboard.
I am a human corkboard, and I don't have nearly enough enamel pins. So what I thought was that we could commission one to be made, or several hundred, or 100, and it's going to cost us money to do this.
Yes.
And if we want to do this, we want to at least break even.
Yes.
So we have several weeks ago put a survey out on the Discord, bit.ly/TADPOG Discord or tastethepiss.com.
Taste the piss.
If you are interested in an enamel pin featuring the TADPOG logo, we want to do it, but only if if people show enough interest. And the survey we have put out there is probably 7 to 8 to 10 questions about what would interest you regarding buying an enamel pin.
Yep.
If you want one, if you're interested in this, we're looking at probably a price point in the $10 to $15 range a piece, just depending on, the overall interest. So if you want one, if you're interested in having one, we would like to hear from you because as it stands, the people that thank you, by the way, to those that have filled out the survey. Yeah. It's not exactly a lot of feedback.
Right.
But I just think it's because the only places we have the link are places that maybe a lot of our listenership don't go to.
Right.
Like it might be, it's on the Discord or it's on our Facebook or it's on our site.
Right.
And if you're like me, most people don't go to those places. They just listen to the show
right,
on
totally.
iTunes. So
Same.
I've been meaning to mention this on the show for fucking like a month, and I keep forgetting.
Yeah.
So we can put a link to the. We'll put a link to the survey in the show notes,
Right.
Tyler?
Yep.
And please just go to tadpog.com.
Link at the very top of the page.
We'll put it right there. It's at the top of the page. Just click the link, fill out the survey, and let us know. Because if we hit a number, we're going to do it.
Right.
And it's reasonably priced. Considering what we're wanting to do, like getting 100 of these made is not that bad.
Right.
So,
But we don't wanna lose money.
We don't want to lose money,
Yeah.
and we don't want to have a bag of pins that never get given out,
Right.
or sold. So, it's straight up capitalism, people. Supply and demand. If you want a pin, let us know. If we get enough of a response, we'll have one made and start taking orders for those. So that's that part of. That's the new business of the day, but we have an old business to attend to, don't we, Tyler?
That's true. Thanks for listening, everybody. Give us the show on iTunes, not SoundCloud, not Stitcher, but on Spotify, YouTube. All over the goddamn place.
It's out there.
Well, email.
Email.
To have someone email you the MP3. I won't do it.
I won't do
Somebody
it.
will, though.
Yeah.
But I can probably
Dane will
make
probably do it.
arrangements to get it to you. If you have to get it in email, $20 a month will arrange for you to have it sent.
That sounds
email.
good.
If
You want to make that a Patreon tier? $20 a month. We'll email you a link
fucking
to the MP3.
link to the MP3, which you can just as easily get by going to any of the platforms where podcasts are hosted.
Yes, but this isn't an email.
This will be a personalized email from Tadpog.
From
No
Aren't You
subject.
Special at tadpog.com.
No subject.
Are you sure you want to send this email without a subject? Yes.
And we're gonna CC everyone in the same email, and those emails will not be blind copy.
No, I'm not saying we're not even going to be
sharing everyone. Your email address will be shared with everyone else that requests it.
We're going to send this like a grandma would.
Patreon.
Yeah, got a lot of shit going on, but most importantly is that Patreon.
That's right, we do. Patreon is a thing that creators use to get people to donate money to help fund the creative process.
Okay.
We have a Patreon account.
Hey, that's great.
It's a new thing we're doing now where you can go to patreon.com/tadpog or pisstasters.com.
Taste the piss, obviously.
Taste the piss. And you can donate money to our show.
I'd like to do that.
I would too. And I'm going to try this tonight. And I think everyone listening should do the same.
Well, I'll do it if they do it.
Okay, same. I will too. And if you'd like to donate $1.
I'd like to donate a lot more than that. How's 100 sound?
That sounds awesome.
Not enough?
It's a little low.
Okay.
But it's a start. But
200.
For as little as $1, you have access to the bonus content that we have. There's a lot of good stuff up there. We don't put as much on there as we'd like, but again, we are in the process of trying to figure out some tiers, some different incentives, some things for everybody. But $1 gets you in there, and we have some folks though that donate more than that, a lot more, like 20 times more.
That's great.
Than that,
I love that.
More than 20 times. And these are our executive producers. And I'm going to read the list of these fine folks right now, like I do every week, because we love how generous these folks have been.
Yeah.
Starting with Plinko, Nick Price, Cubicle Monkey, Enthusiast Jeff Miners, Joseph Phillips, Gamebug Prime Nathan Eaton, Matt Gentile, a.k.a. Gentle G, Louisville Correspondent Princess Consuela, Banana Hammock, Flavor Trick, Taryn Dahl, congratulations on your marriage, Pinball Airplane Archmage, Chris Edler. I'm getting a lot better at saying that.
Mm-hmm.
Like every week, I get a little better at saying it.
You're getting skill ups.
I am. I'm feeling the little pluses right above my head, just popping. We're sorry you couldn't be on this episode. Sandwich Pope, Phil Hawkins, Drink Smith, Joey Webster, and Derek Pope Sandwich. Thank you guys so much for your generosity. And thanks to everyone who donates. because we realize it's a tough economy, and just to take the time to give us a little money to help fuel the show, it means a lot. We have a new donor this week, just someone that popped in that has just decided to give him some money. It's just that easy. And this is Mayor of Soso.
The Mayor of Soso. Speaking of grandmothers.
Returning donor.
Returning donor, Mayor of Soso. Thank you for coming back and donating the money. I think the Ambassador of Average would have been nice to see that one come back too. But Mayor of Soso is fine. And hey, when we see new donors come in, we'll bring it up. We'll mention it.
Yeah.
Because we want you to know we love you.
We do. We do love you and appreciate you.
Dane.
I thought you were going to say Dave at first. I was like, what?
Dane.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Love you.
Yeah, thank you, Dane. Dane does a lot for us. Puts the episodes up on YouTube.
Yes, he does.
Yep. He runs the Retro Game of the Month poll on the Discord as well.
I love this involvement. Mm-hmm. People in the Discord is a lot of fun. We talk about that with the canned closer, but that one's bit.ly/TADPOG Discord. Come on in, hang out with us because we have some fun. I get some good laughs out of that, out of our conversations.
Yeah, me too.
And I find out about Paul. Always constantly recommending good anime and good TV shows. He and I have a lot of conversations about stuff like that, and I wouldn't have seen half the stuff I've seen if it hadn't been for going on. We have like a film and TV channel. We have an anime channel.
Lots of dank memes.
Just
fucking dankest goddamn fucking memes.
There's even a nasty slaps channel, if you know what I mean.
I don't.
Well, you should go find out if you're 21 and over or 18 and over, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, a lot of fun on the Discord. So join us there. We do post all of our announcements there. That's where we communicate everything out there.
Best place to be.
It really is. And it's free. So come hang out, visit. Okay. Just felt like we needed to freshen up and talk a little bit about our stuff because we don't do it.
No one else is going to.
That's right.
So our theme song is Moves by Sycamore Drive. A link to that track in the show notes at tadpog.com.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you guys want to close it out?
I think it's Judge Dredd.
As Carl Urban, as Sylvester Stallone, as Judge Dredd, as Rob Schneider.
Oh! Okay. Easy.
I just said words just then. I don't know how that's going to work.
So until next time.
Tropical Capricorn.
I am the one.
TADPOG is hosted and produced by Tyler Holland, Dave Moore, and Ian Chandler, and is available wherever fine podcasts are hosted. Have a question or comment for the hosts? Call us at 270-883-2555 and leave us a voicemail. We'll even play it on the show and respond eventually. Want to send us something? You can do that at Tadpog Studios, care of Nicole Nance, P.O. Box 3785, Paducah, Kentucky 42002. Sick of us doing all the talking? You can join in on the conversation by visiting our Discord at bit.ly/TadPogDiscord or tastethepiss.com. Not many things are truly free these days, but our Discord is, and we'd love to see you there. Our theme song is Moves by Sycamore Drive, and a link to that track can be found at the show notes at tadpog.com. Thanks for listening, and if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to our show on your favorite podcasting platform. We really appreciate it.
All right, lightning draft.
Lightning draft.
Okay.
So one of the parts in Judge Dredd, they had a big-ass robot.
Yep.
So lightning draft.
Yep.
Your top 3 robots.
Great.
3.
That's me.
There you go.
Go for it.
Johnny 5.
Nice. Donnie Five
That
alive.
was really good. Yeah, Bender.
Nice.
Ooh.
Robo from Chrono Trigger.
Also very nice.
RoboCop.
Urkelbot.
Ah, damn it. Damn it. Dalek.
Dalek's good.
Does that count?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
I need another robot. I can't think of another robot.
You can. What's the elegant version of a Dalek?
Oh, the Cyberman.
There you go. And the last one for my favorite robot, Mega Man.
Yeah, that's what I was. That's got me a little bit because Mega Man was going to be my pick. Magnet Man.
Perfect.
Terminator.
Proto Man.
You guys are better at robots than me, clearly. Crow from Mystery Science Theater.
Nice.
That bomb disposal robot that looked at me over the fence the day the SWAT team ran up on my neighbor's house. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and find the story I told on the show. That is my 5th favorite robot.
Is that it? Or you? No, this is our
You
last
got-
pick.
wait.
Dungeon Man from Earthbound. I think he's robotish
4th
enough.
favorite.
R2D2. He's a droid,
Nice.
I'm just going to go
Count
straight
it.
to C-3PO. Good. Thank you.
but yeah.
I was drawing blanks.
I know. That's how lightning
No, I
rods work.
strike that. I want it to be the robot from Ahsoka.
Oh, okay.
This David Tennant voices him. I can't remember his name though.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the dog robot that Sarah Jane has in Doctor Who?
I gotta look this
Little
up.
dog robot.
All I can think when you say dog robot, I think of Chippendale Rescue Rangers when they had like the bulldog
K9
Yep.
style.
Yep.
K9.
K9. There you go.
Jesus
K9.
Christ, it's K9. How did we not get
Are we still going?
You got
I don't even know where we're
you got
at.
one more. I think I've done we're at 6. I've done 6. Or is it 5?
I'll
I don't
save
know.
C3PO for you. Lobot. Man, Lobot MVP of
I was-
Empire Strikes Back. Anytime Lobot
Hell
shows
yeah,
up, Lobot!
There is my man. Lando couldn't have done it without you, my man. My fine bald friend with your little robot head. I was listening to Conan O'Brien, He's a Friend, and he does one with Kenan Michael Key.
Yeah.
And they get into a discussion about Billy D. Williams, and it was
Okay.
I was fucking dying.
All right, okay.
That was a good one.
That sounds like it was a good
It was
one.
a really good one.
Okay.
Honorable mention DJ Roomba, Parks and Rec.
Ah, Daruma.
Nice.
I guess technically Darth Vader.
No, he's not.
I mean,
Some
He
of
is
Vader.
more machine than man, but I don't count him as a robot. Really, though, RoboCop wouldn't count on that same note.
Android
Yeah, but I
Android
think he would,
16
'cause
from he's completely inorganic.
Ooh.
Android 16
Yeah, there
from
you go.
Dragon Ball Z.
Dragon Ball. I feel like RoboCop counts because he's dead. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's like Frankenstein's monster. I think you could also be like, robot fueled by electricity, man-made. You know, it's like,
The honorable mention for me, the cop robots from Psychopaths are pretty cool. They've got these giant teddy bear heads. It's weird, but I like them.
Krang's suit.
I was gonna say Mousers from
Yeah,
Teenage
wow,
Mutant Ninja
Mousers.
Turtles.
Freddy and the gang from Five Nights at Freddy's.
Hey, there you go. Pasquale.
Pasquale.
Damn it! Why wasn't I in that mindset when we were doing the real draft?
What's the name of that devil robot from Futurama?
The devil,
The robot devil.
Robot
Is it
devil.
Robot Devil?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I've never knew that was what they
Robot
called it.
hedonism bot.
Oh God, I love hedonism. Clamps. You want me to give him the clamps?
Roberto the stabbing robot. That's pretty good.
That is cool.
Rosie.
Oh, Rosie. That's a classic.
Royalty's a good one.
Oh, the fucking robot from Lost in Space.
Yeah. Danger, Will Robinson.
Robot, I think is what they call him.
I think it
isn't
is Robot.
Yeah.
The Iron Giant.
Oh.
Iron Giant. What's your companion in Fallout 4? Your house robot?
I
Cog-
can't remember.
Cogsworth or something?
Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah. Shit, that was a good one.
That was
Good draft. Good idea.
Should have been a main draft, probably.
Yep.
Yeah. It went 5 minutes and 53, 54, 55.
Cyrax
56,
from Mortal Kombat.
7. Yeah, damn. That's a good one.
Terminator.
I said Terminator.
Did you?
I
Okay.
was my fifth
I was
pick.
probably I was scrambling in my mind when you were picking, I'm sure.
It was third pick, I think.
A pitching machine.
A Hitachi vibrator.
It's a pretty good one, bro.
Worth the money, man. You're gonna pay more, but you're gonna be
I
glad
spent
you
$80
did.
on that thing. Yeah, I know.
Gotta get the wireless.
Yeah, you definitely want the wireless.
I got the one fucking
But
put
you
that
got-
bad boy in the wall.
You gotta remember to charge it.
Yes.
Gotta remember to charge because that could be disappointing. Yeah. If you don't remember
true.
it. Not that I would know anything about
Me
it.
neither.